Hello, everyone. What's up? We're joined by a huge, beautiful, glorious panel of Star Wars EU fans this evening to go over a bit of news, share some stories, and a lot more later on. But before we get into any of that, we're going to introduce our panel. So I'll throw it over to who's right here, and we'll go on down the line.
Hello. Sorry for no camera. I'm traveling for work at the moment, so I don't have my webcam. But I'm Dylan with the Twin Sons Foundation, and I was at Legends Con 1 with the Twin Sons Foundation, and it was pretty great. And it was great enough that I decided to come back for the second one.
Yeah.
I'm Arthur. I went to Legends Con 1. It was amazing. I met like half these people. I know like the other half. And I like the expanded universe, and so I'm going to go to Legends Con 2. Richard.
Hi, I'm Richard. I also went to Legends Con 1. Was a ton of fun. I basically met everyone here, either there or online as a result of that, and I'm really excited for Legends Con 2.
I'm Scott. I did not attend Legends Con 1. I'm a longtime Star Wars EU fan, writer and contributor sometimes for theexpandeduniverse.com, and very excited to be attending Legends Con 2.
Hi, I am Al from Archive Panic. I don't do a lot of things on the internet, but every now and again I make some sort of Star Wars or other sci-fi related content, and I did not get to go to the previous Legends Con, but I very much intended to go to this upcoming one.
My name's Logan, and I post Star Wars lore under the Logan Likes Legends TikTok, and I was not at Legends Con.
Hi, I'm Eddie. I attended Legends Con 1 and had an absolute blast, and super excited about Legends Con 2. And I post Star Wars Legends videos every so often.
Hey, I'm Marcel. I attended Legends Con 1 with, again, half the folks here. Got to meet Dylan, Brennan, Arthur, and Eddie, and Richard for the first time. Looking forward to meeting Scott and Logan at Legends Con 2. Also, I got to meet Al recently, like less than a month ago, at another convention in Toronto, and that was really cool. And yeah, looking forward to Legends Con 2.
Awesome. We have an awesome group of people here. Each and every one of them is so cool, and it's been a pleasure interacting with all of y'all on these online spaces for however long it's been now. And for some reason, I feel like I should introduce myself now as well. I'm Brennan. This is my channel because everyone else gave such great introductions. And I was at Legends Con 1, and I'm so excited to go to Legends Con 2. And we are one step closer to that now, as we have an announcement over on the Legends Con 2 website, which I'm going to load up there. So now we're all super small, but we have the website here. Can all of y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So on the Legends Con official website under lodging, they have announced that they are pleased to announce that the Hampton Inn and Suites Dallas Arlington South and the Fairfield by Marriott Dallas Arlington South are hosting Legends Con 2 room blocks. Make your hotel reservations today. And then you can scroll on through here and you can find information about where they are geographically. Now, it's come to my understanding that both of these hotels are right beside each other. They essentially share a parking lot, is what I've come to understand. And so they're very near to each other in terms of proximity. So whichever one you choose, you'll be near friends and other attendees of Legends Con 2. Both locations are near the University of Texas at Arlington's College Park Center and offer upscale service and complimentary breakfast for you and yours. Both locations are also next door to each other, so you'll be near your friends and family that book with either hotel. And then there's more information here on the site, and you can book, of course, through there by clicking along to either of the options. So that is so super cool. I think that had been a question that some of us had, when were the hotels going to be announced for Legends Con 2? So seeing this was an awesome positive step in the direction of this is happening, and we're all going to be there very soon, like we were last time. So that's incredibly exciting. Another thing that's incredibly exciting is that Twin Sons Foundation is the official charity for Legends Con 2 this year. And we have a honored representative of Twin Sons Foundation with Dylan here. And so I would like to throw it over to Dylan and ask for a little bit of an introduction to what Twin Sons is, what they do, what they're about, what their future goals are, and how Legends Con 2 will help them accomplish that.
Yeah, so what to say? I'm Dylan. I'm vice president, co-founder, and treasurer of the Twin Sons Foundation. I've been with Twin Sons ever since, well, co-founder, I guess, along with Brian, Bill, Gordon, and a few others as well. We're a 501c3 nonprofit that spreads reading and literacy through Star Wars books. And we do that by doing book drives and fundraisers to purchase Star Wars books, to donate to children's hospitals, libraries, though not really as much, community centers, schools, pretty much anywhere that'll take them. To date, I have the number written down. We have donated over 17,000 Star Wars books since we came together in, I want to say it was June or July of 2016. And yeah, Legends Con 2 will be the 5th convention that we've gone to. And kind of getting into that, we went to Legends Con 1 as well. We were invited as a fan group, and like we did with all their conventions, we met with fans, we shared love of the expanded universe, and we collected books at there from you guys. I had the number written down. I made notes, but now I can't read my own handwriting. And apologies if you can hear the car alarm in the background.
It's 60 something, right, for Legends Con 1?
It was 66 that we gathered while we were there. Books, which all went to the Boys and Girls Club in Burbank, California, which is something we always do when we go to a convention, is we collect books there from anyone who has the books, and then we donate them to somewhere local that's hosting the convention as a thank you to the community town or whatever who hosts the convention. So we are going to be looking to do that as well at Legends Con 2, where if you are going and you have extra books, duplicates, or stuff that you don't need, especially Star Wars books, feel free to stop by the Twin Sons booth, and we'll take our books. We'll have goodies for you. Can't say too much yet, as we're still trying to put the finishing touches on what exactly we're going to be doing, but I'm definitely going to bring this spinning wheel. That'll be back. We'll figure something with that. We'll have bookmarks. We'll probably have lanyards. We'll have other fun things to do. And then also, this year, Legends Con was kind enough to reach out and made us the official sponsor, or the official charity of Legends Con. So all the proceeds of Legends Con that don't go to the con will be donated to us. And all that money, we are going to be looking to do a second book drive fundraiser, but all that's going to go into a second book drive where we're going to purchase books and take them to another location that is local, probably a local hospital. These two locations are going to be different. The books that we, for example, collect at the convention, and the ones that we do for the fundraiser are likely going to be two different locations just because of the timing. It'll take us about a month to get the books once all is said and done. Whereas the ones at the convention will basically be dropping off like the Monday after Legends Con happens. So two different places are going to get books. Either they're going to be the books that you guys bring us or the books that we purchase with whatever's left. So yeah, very excited for that.
Could I just add real quick that the goodies that you were giving away, you had bookmarks, which I appreciated, but there were 3 lanyards available at Legends Con 1. Okay, you guys that were there, you might know this. It was the lanyard you got, the Dark Horse lanyard, the lanyard you could buy, the Legends Con lanyard, but then there was the Twin Sons lanyard. And here's the thing about the Twin Sons lanyard, is it had a functional clasp. That was the best lanyard. And I don't want to set expectations too high if they can't get more of those lanyards. But let me tell you, that's the lanyard I wore.
It'll probably be the same lanyards. Brian has a bag full of lanyards. We didn't go through all of our that we had from. Those are actually the lanyards that are leftovers from Celebration Chicago. We still had a bag of like around 100-ish lanyards, and we handed out maybe half of them at Legends Con 1. So it's probably going to be those same lanyards, and then we'll keep handing them out until
There
we're
you
out of
go.
them.
Yep. All right, you heard it.
And we also have a campaign for the Twin Sons Foundation. We're trying for the 10-year anniversary of the decanonization of the expanded universe. Our goal was to have 10 donations throughout the year, or whatever is feasible. But all that depends upon fundraising, obviously. So I hosted one back in May, on May the 4th, at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Hollywood, Florida. That went spectacularly well. We partnered with the 501st, I'm sorry, the local garrison, Everglades Garrison, and they were a tremendous help. We distributed the books to all the kids that wanted one. They had toys. They had a whole Star Wars theme going on there with the films. They had coloring and just a party atmosphere, really, for the kids, and they were tremendously grateful. They loved the books. I remember one little girl came up and was ecstatic about the Princess Leia book, the Courtship of Princess Leia. So all of these books go to a great cause. You may not think of it just giving $20-$30, but it actually really makes somebody's day at the end when they deliver the books.
Yours was actually side note. Yours was the first one that we actually started including the little golden books of the story of the faithful Wookiee as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and that helped because there's a lot of kids sometimes in a younger age range, and those chapter books, the Bantam and Del Rey era books, they're a little too advanced sometimes. For maybe 10, 11, 12-year-olds, that's fine, but anything younger, they definitely prefer the little golden books. So those were a big hit as well.
Absolutely awesome what Twin Sons has already done and is going to be doing for the community. It's just really, really cool. Matt Wilkins has talked about on his stream sometime how he's sure that in 10 years, the people you're going to see popping up on YouTube and in EU circles will be fans who were made via Twin Sons donations. That is Matt's hope and what Matt has talked about several times. It's absolutely admirable work, and it's just really, really cool. So thank you for all that you've done and for all the people who've been associated with Twin Sons to do these donations. It's really, really valuable work, and it's very commendable. It's something that's really cool that we can, hold on to in the fandom right now and, rally behind.
Yeah.
Is anything more from Twin Sons before we move on to some Legends Con memories and Legends Con 2 expectations?
I think that was all of it. Yeah. And Scott, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you're interested in what Twin Sons does, it's very easy to get involved. If you have a children's hospital in your area that may be willing to accept the books, contact Twin Sons to maybe set something up in the future. Obviously, all this depends upon getting the funds available to do the donation and order the books and give them out. But it's real easy. The hard part is just coordinating it in advance. Yep. And it's tremendously rewarding, I can say, from doing it personally. So you can get involved yourself if this work speaks to you in any way.
The only stipulation we have on donation locations is that they have to be places that will not just sell off any books we give them.
Right.
Because that, in my opinion, that just completely defeats the purpose of giving out books.
And if you're interested in all that and you're watching on the video archive, I'm sure we can get the Twin Sons website link in the description. You can head on over there, but it's not hard to find them if you look them up. They've got a group on Facebook as well. You can reach them several places.
It is twin-sons.net. And just an update, we are actually about $250 away in our current fundraiser from being able to do another location. So every little bit helps.
Absolutely awesome. That's awesome. So next we're going to move into a bit of a sort of reflection in a way for our memories for those of us who were at Legends Con, in addition to a sort of hype building section for those of you who didn't get to go to the first one and stuff that you're excited for or hope for perhaps for the next event. I'll share a memory that I have first, and then we can go along the same way we introduced ourselves down the line. There's so many cool memories from Legends Con. I mean, the best part of it was just meeting all of my friends, all of the people who I interact with on YouTube and stuff. So there's so many times where there was just great conversations. I really enjoyed the night we were streaming. Some of us, and Alex fell off of his chair and Matt made fun of him. That was absolutely hilarious. For those of you who saw that, I enjoyed listening to Matthew Stover go on rants because those were absolutely wonderful and super exciting and engaging to listen to. I enjoyed. I won't want to speak on too many because I'm sure we'll overlap with some of the other stories on here. One fun story is my friend Zach, who goes by Granny Toes. He was trying to figure out where we'd met, and I think it was me, Marcel, Sebastian might have been there, Maxwell might have been there. I don't know if Alex was there yet, and Twin Sons were down there, I think. And he was like, "Where are you guys at?" And then he sends me a picture to my phone of us from above and sends target acquired. And it was really ominous and funny at the same time because then there's the backs of our heads right there on my phone. You know, I open it up, there we are sitting there, and my friend has just texted me from one of the top windows, and it was just hilarious.
He posted in your Discord, right?
I think he did. Yeah, it was really funny.
So I opened up your Discord and saw that, and I was like, okay. And then I looked out the window, and I was like, similarly in the same area, and I was able to find you. I was because like that's them. At which point I went down and introduced myself. But
yeah,
that was just really cool.
One more thing that I'd like to say is another fun moment was I remember my legs feeling shaky as I went to introduce myself to Dylan and Brian. Because I've been watching them on match streams and stuff since forever. It feels like since I was 12, 11, seeing their live streams, seeing them talk about stuff before I'd gotten to interact with any of them. And it was like, there they are, just standing there. And I was with Marcel and a couple others, and I just like went over there, and I was just so nervous. I was like, oh man, I'm about to meet Brian and Dylan from Twin Sons, and it was just my legs felt nervous, but they were absolutely wonderful. Super nice, and yeah, that was another fun memory. Just getting to see them in the flesh.
So you weren't nervous about meeting Michael Stackpole or Matthew Stover, but you're nervous about Brian Borg. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
We're just people. We're just like the rest of you. Okay, there's nothing special about us, right? It's just.
I think I speak for several of us where I say it feels like you guys are quite special to a lot of us. But yeah, I'll throw it over to you, Dylan, for some of your memories from Legends Con and what you're looking forward to for the next one.
I think one of the best memories is actually before the con even started, and you kind of alluded to this, but it was the Friday before Legends Con, because we were there and we had a booth. It was like the setup day, right? So Brian and I went early, and while we were waiting for them to open up for us to go in for setup, we just like were sitting at the patio, like right outside. And because the hotel was like across the street, tied to the convention center, we just run into a whole bunch of like I forget who exactly what the order of was, but like a bunch of you guys were also just like either walking in or going out of the hotel room, and like you just spotted you, and you're like, "Hey, you're you," and then we had like a little circle like in the patio of just talking about stuff, about Star Wars and stuff, and eventually it opened up, so Brian and I had to go in and set up the booth, and then we came out like 2 hours later, and you guys were like still there, and then we just sat back down and we like talked Star Wars for another like 3 or 4 hours. And,
yes.
And I remember this one after we had set up. We're all talking, and Ryan, son of Luke on YouTube, who has been with Twin Sons for years now, just shows up, and he didn't tell us that he was going to be here. And I remember looking over to him. It's like, what are you doing here? And the reason I said that was because we were actually given since we were an official fan event, we were given tickets basically to cover us. We actually had we didn't have enough people who were going to the con to cover all the tickets. So we had extra tickets. So when Ryan showed up, my first thought was, why didn't you tell us we were coming? We could have used one of the tickets on you. We could have given you a ticket. He's like, oh, it's just a last minute thing. It's like, I got to be here.
When he showed up and I heard his voice, I don't think I'd seen him before. I know he's been on a More Civilized Age and stuff now. Maybe he was on some stuff a long time ago, but I just knew his voice because, hi, welcome to another EU monthly update. It was like, that was what I knew him for. So as soon as he opened his mouth and started speaking, I was like, it's the monthly update guy. I was like, oh man, he's here too. It was just a wonderful experience. That first night might have been one of the best nights of the convention, just because when you get to hang out and talk with other fans who are just as passionate as you are. We were having a deep conversation about Darth Kaitis, and some random person who we'd never met before showed up and joined our conversation for the rest of the evening. You know, it was, 1, 2 o'clock by the time I went to my room to get some rest because it was just so fun. And that's something I'm looking forward to for the next one for sure.
Or first day before it was open, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was like, I walked away from the booth to scout something out. I was going to scout out because there was the bookstore that actually had books to see what books they had. And while I was doing that, Barbara Hambley walked through and just goes and looking confused. And I was like the only other person standing there. So she asked me, where's the signing place? Well, the signing place is like right next to the bookstore. So it's like, oh, it's over here. and she goes, oh, cool. I didn't bring a pen. And I said, I have one. Let me come back. And I went and grabbed my pen, and I grabbed my copy of Children of the Jedi and Planet of Twilight. And I'm like, here's some pens. Anyway, can you sign these?
So she signed my books with your pen?
Yeah, I gave her like it wasn't our pen. Twin Sons, we had like we'd done like a Walmart run for like basic supplies. So we had bought like a pack of like 12 pens, and I just grabbed like half of them and just like, here you go.
Wow. So we have a Twin Sons supply run. We have a Twin Sons Rebellion supply run pen signature by Hambley in our books.
Potentially. If you didn't bring your own pen, potentially.
Wow. That's so cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, and just I guess the atmosphere of it, like how approachable everyone was, like how you would just see Randy Stradling just hanging out in the booth, Joe hanging out. You would see the authors walking around. Stackpole walked by our table, and then we had like Brian and I just had like a 30-40 minute conversation with Michael Stackpole, just in impromptu. All of the stories of I didn't go to a lot of the panels because I was stuck at the table for most of the time, but the stories from the panels that were happening, it was all great.
Yeah, and this isn't the next one. They're aiming to make it bigger, but it's not Comic-Con or MegaCon here, right? So I think it's safe to assume the author access is going to be really good again. I mean, these authors haven't been on the circulating for a while, for the most part, in the same way when the EU was still here. So it's a really cool thing because suddenly they're just surrounded by people who adore their work again, and they vibe off it. It's awesome.
And I actually think. Oh, go ahead. I was just going to speculate because I know a few of the authors are returning from Legends Con 1. And if you weren't at Legends Con 1, those ones, I just think a lot of people are going to go to this one as well who are at 1. So those ones are probably going to be a little more accessible because the repeat people don't really have a lot left for them to sign. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to throw it over to Eddie next, so we'll get back to the rest of everyone later because I know he might have to go a little early. But I'm really excited to hear your thoughts as well. Eddie was there on the first day, I think, on the Saturday, right?
Exactly. So a lot of memories, just like yours. I think one of the main highlights, and a lot of people have heard the same thing, that huge highlight was meeting all of you guys. I mean, interacting with you guys for a while and talking to you, and then seeing you guys in person just really, really made the day just even better. When I got there a little bit early, the first person I saw was Only Good Games, Sebastian. So I saw him, recognized him, and I was picking up my lanyard, and I saw Jared from Utini as well. So I started seeing all these people, and Brandon, I think you were talking to Marcel, so I went up to you guys, and it was kind of like a reunion of sorts, live.
Yeah.
So we just started chatting. Everybody was extremely happy just seeing each other and chatting. So apart from that was the panels, just hearing the stories, all these stories about how the books that, like you said, that we adore, that have been a huge influence and part of our lives, just hearing the actual authors, they were like rock stars up there for us, right? So that was a huge highlight, just seeing them and just do a Q&A and just the easy access to them, like you guys mentioned as well. Talking to them, answering our questions, and they signed a lot of books as well. So I didn't take any, unfortunately, but this time, yeah, I plan to take quite a few to get signed. So super excited about Legends Con 2, bigger and better. I was really satisfied with the outcome of the first one. So I'm excited about this one.
Absolutely. Could you share with us some of the ones you're most excited to get signed potentially at the next one? Any off the top of your head?
Troy Denning. I'm just excited he's going. Michael Stackpole. Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge fan of his work, and yeah, that's probably the main one I'm kind of going for to get signed. So I just haven't really decided which ones I'm going to take as far as my books, but yeah, definitely him comes to mind.
Absolutely, that's a great choice. I love Mr. Denning's body of work as well. I can't. It feels surreal to think that he's going to be there.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's
I
like
was kind of
really
shocked when I heard it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked when I heard that he was going or saw the announcement. Yeah. So, and also I like that you guys, because I live in LA area, I would say about 40 minutes from Burbank. Mm-hmm. And I saw one of you guys posted a picture on the courtyard the Friday before, I think. So I thought, whoa, they're there, like you guys. So I wish I was there. I really wish I would have gone the night before, to hang out with you guys. But I'm glad you guys did and found each other.
So maybe of note for LC2, the night before the convention will probably be a lot of people hanging out. So send messages around, see where people are at. Mm-hmm. Chances are a bunch of people will be, breaking down the nitty-gritty details of the Crystal Star, in person, of course.
Exactly. Hopefully. It makes a big difference, I'm sure, just, talking in person about these books and, hanging out for sure. So that's going to be a huge highlight as well.
Absolutely. Man, I can't wait to do it all again. It was such a great experience, and I can't wait to do it all again. It's going to be great.
Also with the panels? Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I was going to say, is there anything? Mm-hmm. Sorry, my bad.
No,
go ahead.
No, just with the panels, I liked how we hung out. We stuck together, and then sometimes, depending on the panel, we branch out. Yeah. Like sometimes I go to a panel and by myself, and I saw Alex, for example, there, or another panel and somebody else was there, and then we got together again and hung out. That was cool.
Definitely. We kind of went around as a group to everything, which was just so fun because you can kind of feed off each other's excitement, seeing each other excited. Like when Dylan rushed over to us and was like, Hambley's here in costume. Like I felt my heartbeat go through the roof in excitement, and seeing everyone just smiling, having a great time, just joyous. It was just so special.
You remember when you were in line for probably Michael Stackpole, but the Abel Pena panel was starting, and I was like, no, but Brennan, if we do this, then that, then this, you can make the signing for Michael Stackpole tomorrow, so we can go see Abel Pena right now. And you just looked at me like all exhausted. You're like, no, I'm not getting out of line.
Did I?
You got to the Abel Pena panel.
Oh, I did. Okay, good.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely on a mission to get some of my books signed that day. When I was little, when I first started watching Matt Wilkins, 12 years old, and he'd like sometimes on streams he'd be like, yeah, I got this signed by this person. And so to me that was mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know why. It was just like, wow, you met these celebrities and got them this. So that was something I'd always wanted to do since I came into the fandom. So I think that it was really cool because a lot of people were very zealous about their signatures last year, I think. But I'm glad to hear that I did make parts of that Pena panel, because I remember that one now. I came in late. I wish I'd seen the start because he was just amazing to listen to.
And
as
even
well.
apart from the autograph from the signatures, taking pictures with them as well. That was super cool.
Yes.
That they were very cool about that. So great memories with that for sure.
The fact that there's a picture of me and Matthew Stover on my phone is just wild.
Right?
Like sometimes I'll just scroll up and see it and I'll be like, wow, that happened.
It's surreal.
Yeah. It's wild. Is there anything else that you're excited for about LC2? Any more expectations, Eddie?
No, just actually just meeting authors that weren't there in Legends Con 1 and meeting new ones and getting things signed for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be wonderful. I assume you'll be there for both days this time around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I attended
really
one
glad.
day for Legends Con 1, a Saturday. I couldn't make it for Sunday. Something happened. But yeah, definitely. I'm going to be flying out there. So for sure, attending both.
That's good to hear. I'll be super excited to see you again. Spend more time with you this go around.
For sure. I'm so sorry I missed the New Jedi Order panel. I was looking forward to that because I was on Sunday, so I missed that completely. But yeah, I'm just excited about the new ones.
Yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to it. Throwing it back to, were we at Dylan or Arthur? I can't remember where we're at. I think maybe Arthur is where we're at.
Yeah, with me. You should. That makes me think you should show the guest list here in a sec. But I do want to say one thing before we lose what's happening. Who is where?
Brady is
here
on the cusp.
backstage.
Where's Brady?
Brady's here.
Here.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, Brady.
All right, my camera is being difficult, so it keeps kicking me out.
No worries, man. No worries, man. Just to go off what Eddie was saying, or a memory that's related to Eddie, is when Eddie showed up, I was not as familiar with Eddie. The algorithm had shown him to me, but I hadn't watched his videos and gotten to know him. When Eddie showed up, he had like a whole entourage that like descended around him, and everyone was like, "Yo, Surfer Eddie is here." Okay.
I remember that with Joe.
But Eddie and I I got to meet him again, like actually now knowing him better.
Yeah, I do remember you, but we just developed this friendship online after that, which was kind of strange, but thankfully, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Richard
happens that way.
Richard joined us.
Yeah.
Look, Arthur, I have to say, when I saw Eddie in the flesh, I felt like I was meeting a celebrity. Okay, he was like a celebrity guest at Legends Con. No, I've been watching his videos, and honestly, just go to his channel and watch some of his videos. They're like chicken soup for your soul. Those videos.
Specifically, I'd recommend his ones talking about convention experiences.
Yeah.
I'd never been to a convention before, so there was one where you were describing, I can't remember which convention was it? You were describing a Star Wars convention that you'd gotten the opportunity to go to in the video. So I was like, now I'm at a convention with Eddie, and you'd been talking about how great the convention experience was in that video, getting me so excited before we got to LC.
Yeah, it's probably one of the Star Wars celebrations from like way back.
Some of us
thank you guys.
Some of us have been to Star Wars conventions last century. That's how old we are. I mean, I'm a veteran from a 1999 convention. Nice. It was a joint Star Wars Star Trek convention, but AC Crispin was scheduled to show up there.
No
Unfortunately, she didn't make it last minute. But man,
that's too bad.
That would have been cool. Very cool.
Would have been iconic to see her before she passed.
Yeah. Did we introduce Brady now that he's here before I?
Brady's with us. One of my best friends in the fandom, Fine Editions. Awesome to have him on here for this. And he was not at the first one, but plans on being at the second one. I think.
You freeze, Brady?
Brady can neither confirm nor deny whether or not he'll be at the second one.
Brady pleads the fifth.
Okay, well, everybody, this is Brady. I'm sure we'll circle back. Memories. I've told a few of them, but probably one of the best ones is when I walked up to all of you initially in the courtyard. Obviously, this is all anybody hears us talk about. But man, it was cool.
Surreal.
So cool for me specifically is because like I didn't have a YouTube channel. or anything, or any way for you guys to get to know me. So I was just like a person on Discord. So the fact that I'd just be able to see all you guys, share my love for the EU just by watching your videos, right? The world's so disparate and lonely. You don't have enough friends in your real life to actually share this kind of niche hobby. And so I walk up and you're all like, it's Arthur from the Discord. I had like shown you my picture, and but instantaneously welcomed into the group, which was wonderful. Which,
You know, something I was thinking about the other day is on the stream we did the second night, where a bunch of us were in the hotel room and for doing kind of the day wrap up. You introduce yourself as Arthur. I'm just a fan. And I just think that's funny now because now you've got this great YouTube channel that all of us are watching, and it's different. And we've been encouraging you to do that for a while, and I'm just so glad that you've been putting out awesome content for us to enjoy.
It's cool, man. It's just cool to interact with everybody. Somebody told me, "Hey, your channel's really cool. Very small audience, though." And I'm like, "Well, yes. I'm not trying to get famous here. It's just for us to enjoy very weird, specific comedy that only we would appreciate. If it succeeds in being funny."
No, it does. Like I think I mentioned to you that one of the videos recently made my day. I was having a kind of an off day, to say the least, and I saw, honestly, I'm not even exaggerating. I saw your video and it made me laugh, like I told you, and just made my day. It's just super funny, the type of comedy you put out, and
it's the
it
best.
has to do with oh yeah,
That means a lot.
Yeah, seriously, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
It feels good sometimes. You just put something positive out.
Yeah.
No way. Look who we have here. Did you all see the Darth Plagueis fan film that was put out?
It's been making the rounds. People are posting it everywhere.
Yeah. This is the channel that put out the Darth Plagueis fan film. So that is super cool to see. That was wonderful to see some of those scenes in the book realized. I've been making my way through it, and it's just wonderful. So sorry for that side note there.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out for sure.
It's good.
I did have one other quick story I wanted to tell that might just be for Brennan and I. Because Brennan, I have not told this, but you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, why I suspect you will. I think it's really funny. In one of the panels, I was sitting a little bit behind you. It was one of the more packed panels. And somebody mentioned Patricia Jackson. Is that her name for the Adventure Journals?
Yeah.
And I was like one of two people in the whole room that was like, woo! And I clapped. And Brennan's in front of me, and Brennan's like,
looking at you.
Like, you had to see who the one guy was. And here's what's so ridiculous is I'm like 34, and Brennan's like 17, but I was concerned about not looking cool in front of him.
I was terrified out of my mind.
He looks over and starts scanning for who the fool was, and I'm like, and I like lean back to like hide behind Joanna so he wouldn't see me.
I remember thinking, there's some hardcore people in here.
Oh, you didn't see me?
No,
you didn't know, that was me.
I knew that someone was applauding for Patricia Jackson, and I was like, I'm in the right place.
It was funny.
There were so many moments like that. Like Michael Kogi, when I brought him an Adventure Journal, which of course Miss Jackson wrote for the Adventure Journal, as a lot of great EU authors did. I brought an Adventure Journal to Michael Kogi, and he was like, I can't believe you have this. I can't believe you found this.
Wait till you guys see the book I brought that I'm gonna have John Whitman sign. You're gonna be like, yo.
Is it one of the picture books?
We'll get to it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for the spoilers then. But yeah, I mean, it was just wonderful because there were so many in-depth fans there that even the authors seemed surprised by how much we, the people there, cared about the stuff that they'd created. It was really kind of touching to see.
Yeah.
They probably didn't expect that. I mean, I'm sure obviously they knew they had their fans, but as much as what they saw that day might have been a little bit unexpected and super surprising for them and touching.
Yeah, we keep hearing about the wonderful experience that the authors had shortly after we heard about it. I credit all these types of people specifically for making them feel that way, for having the authors walk away with that impression. But I'm done. If we wanted to go on to Scott, his feelings, hopes for LegendsCon 2.
Oh, my hopes? Well, I think the guest lineup is incredibly well done so far, and more to come, I hear. So I'm very excited to see Kevin J. Anderson is there. And Shannon McRandall, I mean, she was a mainstay at all the old celebrations. And I think it's great to have her and some extra representation that's not just authors. So ideally, and I know it's kind of hard to just make a wish list and expect all those wishes to come true, but I'd like to see, people involved with West End Games make an appearance, get the invite. People from LucasArts, all those old games. There's a lot of opportunity, not just like West End Games, but like all the miniature games. There's people behind the card game. Like Shannon McRandall knows a lot about that. She has an amazing story of how she was selected to be Mara Jade, and everything that she did over the years. There's just so much opportunity to just like expand the realm beyond authors and just go into other different forms of media. So there's tons of writers for, like, say, Wizards of the Coast that do regular appearances on RPG groups. Like, they'll give interviews and talk about Star Wars in addition to other things that they do. To see some of these guys get the invite, if they're still around, like Bill Smith from West End Games, I think he'd be a great guest. I'd like to see people from Lucasfilm, like Shelley Shapiro, Lucy Wilson, Del Rey, those sorts of people. I think they make great guests. And I'd really like to see the card games and like the tabletop games, X-Wing, Armada, all those ancillary expanded universe games get some representation there.
That is a specialty of yours.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to, if you were to say in theory what I'd like to see at a expanded universe Star Wars convention, I would like to get it as close to the old celebration as possible in 2024 or 2025. That's very hard to do, and you may not get it right the first time. I mean, I'm asking for a lot, but if you were to ask me what I would want in terms of a wish list, that would be the direction I would like to go. And even send the invite out to like Leland Shee, some people involved in the Droids and Ewoks cartoons. Just expand, send the invites out and see who responds. I know it's kind of hard to get a hold of some of these people, but I would just shoot for the moon. Shoot for as much as you can, and if you get something less, then that's still okay. I think there's always next year, right? You can always strive to improve the lineup, and I think so far it's very exciting. I'm just excited to see all of you guys. Like, I go for that alone. I saw Matt, got the chance to hang out with Matt last year, and that was well worth it. And I thought to myself, like, what could make this better, right? And to have more Star Wars fans there. And I wasn't even talking Star Wars with him most of the time, but just hanging out, based on all the time we've spent on these streams, I feel like I know a lot of you guys pretty closely. So just getting to hang out in person with him was a real treat. And I know it'll be the same for LegendsCon 2 next year. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure I'll have more thoughts about it after I experience it the first time, like what can be improved, certain directions, ideas that they could go next time around. So I think I'll have more to say after next year.
Marcel?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a bit different because I came from out of the country to attend LegendsCon 1, and I didn't know that I was going to be able to until I realized I was going to be attending a wedding in and around the same time that LC1 was taking place. And the stars kind of just aligned for me. And the big sell for me was just getting to meet people there, not the guests, but the actual fans, people that I've been friends with for a number of years. And I remember like a few nights before, you, me, and Alex, Brennan, we had a call where we just tried to plan out our days, our 2 days, and then they
Did
changed.
we use a Google Doc?
We used a Google Doc, and then they changed the schedule.
We had it color coordinated and everything, and then they changed the schedule like
the
few
day
days later. Yeah.
the day after that. But then just actually going to the event itself and meeting all the fans was truly phenomenal. I mean, the guests were all class acts, every single one of them, and that was great to see and just be a part of that. But like, I don't know, I felt up until that point my battery was kind of running empty, and then like after Legends Con, it was full, right? And I came back with like a renewed sense of purpose and love for Star Wars, and I mean, even for some of the stuff that I was a bit bitter about, right, like decanonization in 2014, I felt a little lighter about it after Legends Con 1, because I finally had a space to celebrate the expanded universe, and we never really had that before, sort of at that level, with all those elements present, right? Like the guests, the authors, and the fans, and content creators, and Twin Suns and everybody else. And so I don't know. I mean, there's just too many memories to choose from. One funny memory that I was reminded of when Dylan was talking about Twin Suns. I got involved last year and volunteered to run a couple Twin Suns events in my city, and I remember Brian and Dylan were trying to give me the bookmarks, the Twin Suns bookmark, because they're like, well, you're here in person, so just take this stack of bookmarks. And I was trying to push back and be like, I can't fit. It was just like a stack like this big. But I was like, I cannot fit these bookmarks in my bag. There's absolutely no room. I've already, like Supernatural Encounters took up like the very last little amount of room that I had. And I bought this like Jaina Solo Black Series action figure, and it's already like half bent in my bag. So I kept trying to be like, no, just like send them to me, just mail them to me. And they're like, no, you're already here, take them. So I had to find somewhere to put them into my bag. And
you full on like carried that, basically carried in one hand your book back with you, right?
Yeah, through 3 different airports I carried my luggage, and it was funny because like my luggage was like basically like one giant luggage full of books and comics and stuff like that, and then like a stick and bindle for my clothes. I brought like just like a few pieces of clothing. I actually made my wife take back, because we parted ways at the airport before I went to Burbank, and I made her take back like half my luggage, and I'm like, I'm just going to Burbank with like the clothes on my back and maybe a couple extra pairs, because everything else like I need to fit book. I actually bought books along the way, like going to, because I forgot something. I forgot a copy of Dark Times, and so I was in this comic store in Vancouver, and I found a graphic novel of Dark Times Volume 2. And I was like, I'm bringing this for Stradley to sign, and I'm glad that I did, right? Because they were so accessible, and they were so willing to sign so many of our works. So like just really good memories all around, and I'll pass it over to someone else if they want to talk about what they're maybe Richard, because I haven't heard from him yet, but and then you can circle back to me about what I want to see at Legends Con 2.
Before that, if I may, thank you guys for the invite, and I'm gonna jump off.
Good to see you.
Take care.
Yeah.
Good
Good
to see
seeing
you.
you,
Eddie. Thanks so much for coming on.
Great seeing you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I guess I probably echoing what a lot of other people said. I think it's not difficult, but if you're a Star Wars fan, a lot of people are Star Wars fans, but not EU fans, if you know what I mean. So it can be sometimes hard to find people to talk with and nerd out over the same things that you really want to. And like Eddie, actually was fairly local to that area at the time. So it was like, oh, I'll just pop over here. So I would say the highlight was probably kind of just showing up and saying, oh, wow, these are all other people who love Legends just like me, who are all really, really into Star Wars just like me. And I think that creates a really good environment in terms of interaction. I'm pretty sure I literally was like in a signing line with Marcel, and I was like, oh, hi, I'm Richard.
That's right.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll just walk around. And I, sat with them at some panels and great time. I would say, so many highlights, but again, echoing what other people said, you get to meet all these authors and you get your picture taken holding their book, and it's like, I never thought this would ever happen because, I'm, somewhat young, so it's like you kind of view these books as, oh, they're from a bygone era. Oh,
Yes,
those,
exactly.
those authors are done, they're retired, and it's like, oh, but actually they're willing to come out and celebrate with so many other Star Wars fans. So fantastic experience. I got to meet a lot of people. I think I'll echo again what Marcel said in terms of giving, gave me a lot more of a drive for Star Wars again. Because it fades a little bit, especially when I'm a college student. You're really busy with other things, but it's like, oh, okay, this is something I can actually celebrate, and I'm so excited for Legends Con 2.
Absolutely.
Can I interject? Can I ask? And forgive me if I have this wrong, but Richard, did you find your way to our group and Brennan's server because you went to Legends Con 2?
Yeah.
Unless he has a time machine, he hasn't been to Legends Con 2, Arthur.
Well, there's that point. But that was literally, I was just like, oh, these are, other Star Wars fans in the signing line. We're just standing there. Let me talk to some. I also met some people in some of the Star Wars like Legends book Facebook groups where they do a lot of trades and that type of thing. And so you're just standing in line. It's like, might as well try and make some friends. And it is definitely, that seed is definitely sprouted and borne fruit. So
it's awesome. I love
very,
that.
very thankful.
Actually, and anybody watching that's in any discords with any of us or watches any of these guys' channel, feel free to introduce yourself to these guys. And anybody that's watching that's not, Brennan's channel has a link to his Discord, right on the
on the about page. You're right.
Shout out. We'll be able to communicate when we're at the con if you're planning to go to the con.
Yep.
Brendan, maybe you can create a dedicated thread or something like that.
Absolutely, we'll do that again for sure.
Be awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, that way we could for example, if you haven't met someone face to face beforehand, you can do what Arthur did last year. Send a picture right before you come to introduce yourself in a thread. Or you could just show up like Richard did and just join a queue and look for people you've seen. It's going to be great. I'm super excited about it. What Richard and Marcel both said about kind of like how you need in a way a safe space for EU fans. Kyle talked about that in the video that he did for the EU group project, the 10 years EU group project that I think everyone here was in that. Thank you all. Thank you to all of you for that. Much appreciated. That was really cool. And what Kyle talked about is, Legends Con is just a space where we can meet up, a safe space where we can have fun and have these discussions, because it's a place that didn't exist before this, at least in person. It only existed really virtually. So it's just a place where we can kind of almost collectively heal over discontinuation and just have a renewed sense of energy together, feeding off of each other. So yeah, I definitely felt recharged by the entire experience. But at the same time, it almost feels like a dream. Like, did that actually happen? Was I really walking around those beautiful carpeted rooms filled with EU authors and EU fans? It feels so far away at this point in time. So I'm so excited for this next one because I feel like I need renewed again in my, love of the community, love of the EU. It's important that we have a safe space where we can recharge and recollect and just have fun.
I haven't done any significant vacationing or traveling in 10 years. And so when I went and did this, it really, like you're saying, really stood out as a memorable experience, even though which is kind of on a desert island there in Burbank, kind of the way it was situated. It wasn't really much to do outside of the convention. As I understand it, the Texas location is better, a little more happening, but man, sorry, I'll pass it up to somebody else, but something you said made me think of this. I remember going and being like, I think I'm going to get to meet Marcel and Brennan and Alex, and I'm going to get to be friends with them. Oh my goodness. I know it sounds pathetic, but it's like it's kind of what my brain was doing.
Also, crucial thing to do if this is your first Legends Con, go to the Legends Con website because they were very good last year and they're very good this year of actually putting up recent photos of what all the guests and authors look like. Remember what they look like because they will be roaming the convention hall and they will be completely alone, completely free for you to just walk up to. And if you don't recognize them, you're going to miss your shot because they did that last time and I don't see why they're not going to do that this time.
Right. They don't wear name tags. And I'll just say if you're on the fence about thinking of going but maybe aren't sure, do it because you may not get the other opportunity. Like I remember like so many conventions back in the day. I remember when Twin Sons used to stream from Celebration there. And there were a couple opportunities in Orlando where I could have gone, but last minute, I didn't think it was worth it. But I always regret not going. And even some of the conventions before then that were just like local conventions. You may not get the other opportunity. Yes, we hope there's going to be another one, but you don't take it for granted, I guess. Make the move if you're on the fence. Definitely go for it.
Especially because a lot of these authors, their main contributions for the EU was, 15, 20, 30 years ago, maybe. They're not going to be around forever.
That's true. Yeah. One funny
reality.
story that I wanted to share. So that Friday night, the day before the night before the first day of the con, we were out until like 1:30 or 2 in the morning. And I remember Zach, Granny, and his friends had ordered, I think it was like Domino's. They just ordered like 5 boxes of Domino's pizza. And I was like, okay, I can't do this. I'm going to bed. And the next morning, that table that we were all sitting around was just covered in ants. Like there were so many ants. Do you remember that, Arthur? There were no.
No,
and I'm like,
yes.
why are there so many ants here?
Was it that morning that we gathered for coffee? And
Yeah.
then we realized that one of the authors was sitting with us.
Yeah, it was Daniel Keys Moran.
Yeah, and
sitting next to us, and
we were suddenly like, "Oh, we should watch what we say," because EU fans, we're fans of a lot of it, but there are spots that we don't like, and so again, might be wise to check over. And
no, he was a really cool
authors
guy.
look like.
I think he probably, if anything, found it just amusing.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame if someone says something stupid like, "Oh, I don't know, I didn't realize how short Barbara Handley was," while Barbara Handley was like 5 feet behind them. That would be really embarrassing if someone.
He was such a sport about it, though, too.
Both 5 feet behind you and 5 feet. Right?
He's such a champ, man.
Before we get on to the people we've not heard from yet, which would be Logan, Alan, Brady, I'll just scroll briefly through the list. Can y'all see this now?
Mm-hmm.
Just to show the guests that are going so far, Kevin J. Anderson, absolutely wonderful. John Whitman, mind-blowing. I cannot believe it. Daniel Wallace, that's huge as well. So exciting for Troy Denning, of course, too. And Shannon Lynn McRandall, a special guest MC of Legends Con 2. Very exciting. And of course, the wonderful Joe Bongiorno of Supernatural Encounters. Absolutely wonderful person. Miss Hambley, 5 foot and potentially 5 feet behind you, so watch out. And more guest announcements coming soon. And well, here's the Twin Sons thing as well. For over to their side of things where you can visit their website through there.
I'll say, in my opinion, for the first convention, the real heavy hitters, like the big two, arguably the big 3 major guests were Stackpole, Stover, and Hambley. And that now that they already have Kevin J. Anderson and Troy Denning already lined up, like, it's going to be even better than the first time around. So I think just take advantage of this guest list while you can, because you may not have this stellar guest list next time around.
Mm-hmm.
That you being on the website made me want to ask, when you were sharing the hotel information earlier, did you mention it? I think it says it on there that the 2 hotel reservation blocks that are available, they share the same parking lot.
Yes, it was
So you're not
mentioned.
going to miss out on hanging with people if from what I understand, does anybody know what that area of the city looks like? It's pretty dense with.
I've driven through that area
Right.
somewhat recently. There's hotels there. There's gas stations. So if you're driving in, there's plenty of gas stations just right there by the convention center. The convention center is on a college campus, so it's incredibly well maintained. I shot some videos of the campus while I was there that maybe shared out sometime in the next weeks or months. It's very nice. It's very well maintained. It's an incredibly nice area. And unlike last year where we kind of had to walk for a pretty great distance, well, it felt like a great distance all the way across the street through California traffic, or, brave driving through California traffic to try to get some food in for those of us who were there. There is literally a Panera Bread like 10 paces from the door to the convention center where you can get a drink, some lunch, some breakfast. There's a burger
Panera
place.
Bread, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
I spent so much money. Joanna and I spent so much money unnecessarily on that one hotel restaurant. I mean, it was great.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But like
hotel food's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the McDonald's across the street. It was terrible. But
by the way, for anybody curious about the hotel prices, Joanna and I, we've got our reservation since it went live, and they're comparable. They're the same as what was available for in Burbank. And we got there's 2 blocks available. One slightly more expensive, and we did the slightly more expensive one. It says it includes the details aren't available yet. It says something about it includes access to a limited event or something at the second hotel there. Did you see that on the website?
I do not recall seeing that.
It's right there on the website.
Okay.
It sounds like Arthur has the penthouse suite, so we should stream from that room if we're going to do the stream next.
Yeah, Arthur, we're definitely going to be doing nightly streams, which everyone here would be invited to. Yeah, something about streaming where you're all in one screen. It was kind of challenging, actually, come to think of it, but it was also incredibly cool. Instead of being split up into different boxes on the screen.
This time, whoever's room it is, we're gonna tip their bed up, and everybody's gonna bring their chairs from their own room.
or we'll have to be careful of chairs because Alex has a habit of falling out of them as well.
I think it was my room both nights.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, everybody get out. I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah,
we should have competing streams. If there's too many of us, just split it out into 2 and see who gets the most views.
Yeah, if Matt Wilkins is streaming that night, it's all over.
Whoever has Matt
will be there this time, and he's probably going to do something. Matt's
I don't know about that.
I mean,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
I'm calling you out, Matt. You flaked on the last 4 cons. Prove me wrong.
Ooh, we've got a challenge being thrown out. It sounds like one more thing I wanted to throw out for location before throwing it down to Logan. Is in addition to gas stations being readily available, food, drinks, all of your needs in that regard, there's a park-like area nearby, and in addition to that, lots of thrift shops where I bought a ton of EU stuff from a half-price bookstore for super cheap and super good deals. So you can go out and thrift one night. There's plenty of thrift shops. I think there was a comic shop I didn't get to. There's some cool stuff in the area. So extracurricular activities, I suppose, if you and some buddies want to go search for EU in the wild. I don't know.
Wait, who's that guy? Oh, sorry, Scott.
I was going to say there's also supposedly going to be vendors as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So EU material readily available. You don't need to pack your suitcase full of all your books. I know you guys that are big autograph enthusiasts, you can do that. But may I?
How do I get all of them in my suitcase?
I mean, if you have like paperbacks, then you can probably find it at the con if you don't want to pack it on the way there.
That's a good
covers might be something that would be less likely to be there. So might want to take that with you if you're into a hardcover signing.
Yeah, or if you're just interested in the autographs and you don't necessarily need your book signed, may I suggest trading cards? There's a lot of like Topps, Decipher trading cards. These are very small. They can fit in your luggage, no problem. We got Jodo cast there. Not sure if Daniel Keith Moran write him. I don't know. If Andy Maggles is a guest there, you can get that signed. Also, Shannon McRandall, that's her Jabba's Palace slave gear. There's multiple cards of her, not just the Decipher cards, but the Topps era cards as well. Series 1, 2, and 3. There's a lot of expanded universe material.
And that's probably
that
good for Shannon McRandall signature too, right? Card.
Yes.
Magazines.
Yeah, there's magazines, there's action figures. They just came out with this Last Command four pack.
I just got that.
So cool to get signed. Wow.
Yeah, this thing's huge. I don't know if I'm going to bring this. This is pretty massive, but and easily damaged.
There's also a single carded Mara Jade if anybody wants that. I think that's still in like Big Bad Toy Store and places like that.
And Shannon is very friendly and very willing to autograph a bit of Twinson's lore. I don't know if a lot of you guys know about this, but during the first celebration we went to, Celebration Anaheim, Shannon actually sent us 30 signed prints that she had signed for us to give out to people who came by the book and dropped off books. Shannon's been a longtime supporter of what we've been doing of Twin Sun, so really happy to see her at the panel and finally getting to meet her in person.
Yeah, I think she's posted in support of the billboard as well in the past too. So.
Yes,
that's super amazing. Super amazing. Moving on to another guest who's on tonight who wasn't there at the first one, but is looking forward to the second one. Well, I assume looking forward to. Don't want to put words in your mouth. But Logan from Logan Likes Legends. What are you looking forward to for LC2?
So this would be my first con for anything. I've never gone to anything before. And so I expect it to be pretty surreal. And like just interacting with the community in general is surreal for me because I'm in a lot of mutual discords with y'all. And that was the first time I've ever been in a space with other Star Wars fans. I just kind of sat back, watched my YouTube, read the Reddit, did whatever. And it's only within the past year or two that I've actually, been interacting. And that itself was surreal. It's like, here's these YouTubers I've seen. Here's Kevin Whiffid, Alien Anthology. I was like, I read these and I'm talking to this guy right now. It's just really surreal. And so I feel like that would just be a level higher at LegendsCon. It's like, they're in front of me. I'm talking to them. Like, yeah. And so, and I just think it would be, great memories. First con, I think it would be a great one to be the first, get stuff signed. I didn't know John Whitman was on the thing. I got the Galaxy of Fear signed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are sweet.
Hey, Pena better be there.
I
better be there.
I'm stressing about how do I get my complete run of Galaxy of Fear signed because I know I can't probably, but how do I get it there?
Yeah, just be lucky Jude Watson isn't there. Imagine showing up with all 47 of her books.
Show up with a rolling suitcase of just Jude Watson books. Roll it over, throw it on the table, open it up.
Do you have a minute? It's probably going to take more.
Plus Rebel Force, and she's like, it's been proven I didn't write these. And you're like, I'd like you to sign them anyways.
Imagine someone tries to get Rebel Force signed by Jude Watson.
They don't know.
Just sign the book, please.
If she's announced, I'll do that. I'll bring that and ask her to sign. I'll insist that she sign it. No, I'll be like, no, you wrote this. I won't accept no for an answer.
And then Scott will use that as proof to counter out the Robin Wasserman allegations.
Exactly.
Not beating the written Jedi.
Randy Stradley's
Rebel Force allegations.
Randy Stradley signed by Carter Jacks. That's actually Kirk Hanos. So.
Yeah,
it's all right. He wrote both characters, so you're covered.
That's true. Anything else that you'd like to showcase that you're going to be taking to the LegendsCon, Logan?
I don't know. Well, because I'll have to see. I might get some stuff. Definitely Galaxy of Fear. I don't know what Kevin J. Anderson stuff I have. But definitely preparing for Abel if he's there. That's the big one for me. He better be there. I will threaten him.
I hadn't even thought of that. There's 14 youngsters, and I have all the
You
papers.
I know.
Maybe there'll be an opportunity, Logan, for you to get one of these bad boys. Who's to say? The Legends Con 1 exclusive Abel G. Pena interviews book signed by Abel. Hey,
Where's mine?
I don't need you coming from my book if he doesn't show. All right, I don't take responsibility for that,
But I do kind of like what Abel did there, how he put together his own book for Legends Con.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
killer.
Yeah, it's a great memory to have that. Funnily enough, I somehow left with my Skywalker's copy and Vader Ultimate Guide signed by Abel, and the book I just bought by him, I didn't get signed on that day. So then I had to track him down the second day and say, "Hey, I got this from you yesterday. I forgot to get it signed." And he laughed and was like, "Oh, you did?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so, then we got that signed later on. He wasn't even at the table at that point. We were just chatting.
I remember he got a real kick out of my Waru shirt that I wore the first day.
So if David Michelini is there, I'm going to have him sign this as a Toby Dallas shirt, but even though it says Boba Fett. But
Abel also got a kick out of my crystal star that's actually Witchfire.
That's right.
I'm not sure if I'll have room to bring it again for people who don't know about that, but
that was a treat to see that in person.
I'm pretty sure, Dylan, we filmed you just showcasing Witchfire. I still have it on my phone somewhere.
Yeah.
I have that as a YouTube short. There's a YouTube short on the channel where it's just like me and Marcel and a couple other people. I think, Richard's in the video too. And we're all just kind of like, as Dylan's like flipping through and he's like, yeah, so this is Crystal Star, or no, which way around is it? I'm forgetting now. But he's like
Star, but then you open it up and it's Witchfire.
And it's Witchfire, yeah. And so you're like, yeah, and you've just read Crystal Star. Of course, there's Maine here in Crystal Star or something like that. You know, it's hilarious.
There's also Witchfire with Crystal Star inside of it,
which only Chris Nelson thought to track down.
I own it now. I own Chris Nelson.
You own that one? Nice. You're a lucky man, Scott. I will fight you for it in 20 years.
There's probably other copies of it out there. I just don't know who has them.
There are reviews on Amazon of people buying Witchfire and being disappointed. It was Crystal Star, and apparently they threw it in the trash. There's no way of contacting those people because they had no idea they had a collectible on there.
There's probably a landfill.
There's also Amazon reviews of Crystal Star. There's, I think, 3 of them of people who are complaining that they got Witchfire.
So I would pay good money for those, and likely they got sent back to a returns Amazon warehouse where they will sit for potentially the rest of time, which is unfortunate. EU group raid Amazon warehouse for rare error copies of Witchfire.
I think they're long gone. Every bookstore I go to, I look for Witchfire, but I think the printing is long been corrected at this point.
You're going to have to hit up the used bookstores now, Scott.
Go in there, say, do you specifically have a Legends Banner Crystal Star or a Witchfire copy from this specific date?
You know, there's been a lot of independent bookstores in my area that have gone out of business lately. So it's basically just the big chains, the half-price books, and
well, you know why they've gone into business, because they sold that one copy of Witchfire. They've retired. Like, we don't need to stay open anymore. We've done it. You go to the used bookstore, you're like, hey, you have a copy of the Crystal Star that's actually Witchfire? And they're laughing. They're like, no, of course not. Meet me in the back. We only accept cash.
Is Witchfire new EU technically?
No.
Oh, man.
Just a weird collectible, that's all.
That is another thing I will say for anyone who's going to Legends Con as their first con. If you want to buy stuff at the con, bring cash. It is just a lot simpler. A lot of the vendors at the tables only accept cash. It's just a lot easier. And also from a not financial advice, but just from like a if you know you are a frivolous spender, having like a hard limit of I have this much cash exactly and I don't have my card with me is very helpful. And
what I did too is I rationed my money out per day. I had some money I took that I was like, this is for getting a copy of a book that I know is going to be here, and then this other money is maybe for other stuff. And cordon it off. I had 2 separate wallets, day 1 wallet and day 2 wallet. That was a little bit helpful for me as well, to make sure that it stretched between both days. But yeah, throwing it on down to Archive Panic to Al. What are you excited about for Legends Con 2? I'm so excited to get to meet you. Very jealous that you got to hang out with Optimus Prime and Marcel over in Canada, or something Transformers related. Sorry, I don't know too much about it.
Listen, I'm excited to go to Legends Con 2 and be hanging out with you, and then you take out your wallet and say, "Oh my God, this is the day 2 wallet. What am I gonna do?" That's what I'm excited for. But in all seriousness, I think for me, the authors are icing on the cake, right? I mean, I look forward to seeing them, but I'm only gonna be able to pack. I would love to pack. I just got the Marvel Tales of the Jedi Omnibus. I would love to bring that, but that's really heavy, and I don't want to pay like $700 in baggage fees or whatever. So we'll probably not do that. But for me, the appeal is I get to meet all of you guys, or all of you guys outside of Marcel, who of course, great times. And that's the key for me, is just being able to meet people who I've now talked to quite a bit. Or just meet new people that I've seen in this space. On top of meeting, seeing the artists, and also just being able to go to a different part of the country for a little while. I second what Arthur said a little bit ago. I've not been on a vacation. I was not on a vacation till about a month ago, or not even a month ago, and it did wonders for me. I felt so much better afterwards, and I'm someone who I need my faith in Star Wars restored on a pretty regular basis. I tend to lose the faith pretty quickly and pretty easily every now and again. So I hope that will be another thing where for the next 6 months afterwards, I'm like, nothing but Star Wars. Just you can't talk to me about any other subject.
Nice. Yeah, I'm certainly super excited. I'm hearing a bit of an echo right now. But yeah, Brady, what are you excited about for the LC2?
All right, so this would be probably the first time I've been around so many like Star Wars fans, specifically the expanded universe. And so I'm excited for that. I'm also a little nervous because so I'm going to be having my daughter will be born at the end of September, so she'll be a few months old whenever March comes around. And so we have some family in the area, so that kind of makes it, I'm glad it was in Texas, and it all went out that way. And so my wife will be able to come and everything. So probably the thing that I'm, meeting you guys, being able to, have these conversations we have, late at night or whenever it is, in person, that'll be so exciting for me. I know my wife wants to come with me one of the days, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, oh no, she's going to be like, what, what's going on?
What's a Solonian and who's Corin Horn?
I think I might have explained that to her.
He can be done. Joanna was so patient.
I just want to say real quick, Comlink Chatter podcast live Legends Con 2. Let's make it happen.
All right. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, just being able to meet you guys in person. I've tried to meet up with a few people this summer, but just things haven't worked out. But it'll happen.
Hello.
Second thing. Hello.
Hey, sorry, man. I just interrupted somebody getting on here.
welcome back.
Rhode Island.
Hi. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. One of the things I'm dreading is the amount of books that I have to bring. Of course, I don't
Me
have
too.
to buy. Like I'll be I'll be driving down. I might have to bring my bigger vehicle for it because I feel like I'll have my suitcase for the trip.
I'm going to be bringing plastic tubs of books again.
Probably,
yeah, big space.
Because not only do I have to bring all of my Kevin J. Anderson Star Wars books, but his Dune books as well, which I do have right up there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's just all shoved there. And so I'm a little worried because I'm afraid of damaging books too. And I'm like, do I take off the dust covers and then but it's harder to identify them. Yeah.
Oh, you got to
I'll
take
probably have to bring a wagon in with all my but I'm also kind of interested in doing maybe cosplay there. Because my wife and I are into going to conventions and dressing up. And so, yeah, we like to go all in with that.
Any cosplay ideas?
I can't remember his name, but who's the pilot that's the horse? I could do that.
Runt is his nickname.
You get one of them horse masks.
Backwash?
I thought about that.
Horhus or yeah.
Something like that.
I know his nickname is Runt.
Yeah, he's the Thakwash pilot. How would you accomplish that? Just a fighter pilot suit and like one of those one of those Spirit Halloween rubber horse heads?
That's what I'm thinking.
That'll be pretty horrifying.
At Celebration Anaheim, at the Aaron Olson panel, at the Remembrance panel at Celebration Anaheim, I forget her name, but someone cosplayed as the I forget her name in the book, but she's the woman who has like the protocol droid head on her shoulder. Someone cosplayed as her, and I was just like, "What?
Awesome!"
That's like the most niche cosplay I've ever seen at any Star Wars convention.
Wait, Marcel has Matt Wilkins' background. That's so trippy because it looks so real.
It always makes me laugh so hard whenever he does it. It's so funny.
Me a second. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't look like Marcel's room.
What do you mean it looks real? Matt's on vacation right now, so.
Guess who's house sitting?
Yeah. Do you have the old one? The old house?
No.
I used to. I don't think I have it. We did a stream where Marcel had the new one and I had the old one.
Yeah, that's right. Ghost of Wilkins past and Ghost of Wilkins present.
I'm trying to see if I still have it. I don't think so.
That's so funny. But yeah, the cosplay is going to be really, really cool. And speaking of cosplays, Brady said, I know Max is a big fan of the cosplay. So I know that's something she'll probably be looking forward to. First of all, how are you tonight? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And what are you looking forward to for LC2?
Pretty much anything and everything. I wasn't at the first one. Unfortunate, because I had some serious kind of FOMO. For those that don't know me, because this is kind of my first time being on stream with some of you guys. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Marcel. I know you. We're on Super Lit. You know this. But I have an Instagram page, Strictly Star Wars. I'm a new cosplayer as well. Mainly just Jaina Solo cosplays.
And all of her various costumes probably ever made eventually?
Yes. Eventually. We've got about 4 right now. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for Legends Con 2. Mainly just to meet everybody. I'm so excited to kind of just be in the same room with like the Super Lit crew and all of my friends that I know. And I've got, books I want to get signed by Mr. Denning because that's my boy. Mainly just these from him.
Nice.
So I ordered these specifically for him.
Got some hardcovers in for the event.
Yeah. And then obviously Supernatural Encounters will be a big attraction there. So, Supernatural Encounters is amazing. So, but yeah, I'm very glad to be here, and I'm so excited for Legends Con 2. It's gonna be extraordinary.
Can I say now who I'm hoping attends Legends Con 2? Who I literally I will just eat my hat. I
Is
will
it-
eat this hat.
Is it Dylan's couch?
No, well, maybe. It's number 2. Number 1, but it have to be both Paul and Hollis Davids. Okay.
Oh,
That would
yes.
be
Yes.
insane. Imagine.
I would eat this hat.
I will
We could ask them
cosplay.
about
That's a good hat. So.
Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh man, it would be great.
I will cosplay as a prophet of the dark side. I'm sure it's an easy costume, but if
Oh.
that happens, I will.
Scott has found his
I'll be
old
the
Matt
bald
Wilkins
one.
background.
I'll shave my head and be the bald one, actually.
It's so
I
trippy
know,
how Scott has extra Matt hair right now.
Al, you did an Arvel Extra Fun
Wow.
cosplay. I'm hoping you bring that.
I did. I'm gonna have. If I do, I'm gonna have to build a droid in
Q9.
Texas. So
Yeah, you can go to the
little bit-
thrift store and get your parts.
Oh my god, that might be a little bit complicated. We'll see. We'll see. I might have something. I might have something brewing.
Or we can just have Alex walk around on his hands and knees and pretend to be Q9 for you.
Just
could,
bullying Alex out here. Wow.
Someone could
I'm
get
sorry,
Don-
I hang out with Matt Wilkins too much, and I gotta throw in some Alex sticking on there.
Yeah, Matt practically invented picking on Alex as kind of a sport, almost.
Alex knows I love him, even though we have very differing opinions on Fate of the Jedi.
Yeah. if he keeps slandering Fate of the Jedi in person, we're gonna see a Sword of the Jedi versus Darth Kaitis reenactment on
Oh,
the
yeah,
on
for
the floor
sure.
of LC2.
He's in for it. He's got to watch out when he's at Legends Con. Don't turn his back on me.
One of the final things that we were going to show off a bit, which we've shown off a little bit of stuff so far, as we move towards kind of the final topic that we have, is showing off some of the things that we want to get signed, or at least discussing them. I'll have to go off camera because I forgot to prepare for this section. So whoever wants to jump in as I grab some stuff quickly, go for it and showcase some cool stuff that you'd like to get signed.
I already kind of jumped the gun on that a little bit, so I'll just showcase mine. I just have hardcovers of Invincible and Apocalypse that I mainly want to get signed by Mr. Denning. I'd also like to get signed copy of Supernatural Encounters to bring home from the one and only Joe Bongiorno. So,
For those of you who flew the last time, what was the strategy with bringing stuff? How big a pain was it?
I'd like to know this too.
A big pain.
Well, you had to
Well,
I
Marcel,
also-
you're going out of the
orders too, so
country.
that's like, yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like I had to fly overseas or anything like that. It was
True.
almost domestic. But
But you
it's a
also
big
had
pain
Supernatural Encounters with you.
that I brought back. If I had brought
Yeah.
it there and then back, I probably would have died.
Just
This
try
shit's whole.
to fly Southwest if you're flying, because they
Mhm.
as of now they still have bags fly free.
Yeah.
I think you can bring 2 bags, but I
That's
think
where
they're
I'm going
ending
to.
it. So
Because I know before I went to the Transformers convention, I watched a video and they recommended to mail stuff if you get way too much, you get way too much stuff. But I don't know how efficient that would be for Legends content.
You never
were
know
talking-
what to pick up with the vendors too. Like there's no new books being released, but who knows what the vendors will have. I'll show off some books real quick. A lot of us will probably be showing the same books. For Galaxy of Fear, I'm going to bring The Hunger because it's the final one, because this one goes hard.
You'll read that one at the Panera Bread, I assume.
Gross. Gross.
Great feast.
I don't like
some,
the beer either.
we're going to see. I'm going to aim to bring all of these, but then I might need to recalculate. Atlas, right?
Of course, that's a
Daniel.
must. Yeah.
I know a lot of you guys have a lot more guides than me, so you probably have a lot of his other work.
That one's very essential to me because I think I already have Fry's autograph in there.
Oh
I have an essential guide to planets and moons that I've had since childhood. It's like probably like one of the first EU books I've ever gotten, and it's hanging on by a thread because I've leafed through it so much.
Yeah, all of mine are loose pages. Like you open it up and it's just.
That's awesome.
Real quick, I got my science fiction book club, Jedi Academy trilogy. Right.
Nice. That's a nice looking volume. I might have to pick that up. I don't think I want to take all 3 paperbacks, you know?
It's real nice. I don't know if I'm going to bring these, but if you want like some obscure John Whitman, these little guys, are you going to bring those, Brendan?
Yes, of course.
Yes. I'll show you Arthur. I have from John Whitman in a minute.
Arthur, we should go up at the same time with these.
Okay.
I'm sure that will be very amusing for him.
This one, this has to be done, but the Amazon Supernatural Encounters, the 3-volume set.
Definitely.
You're bringing all those with you?
I have the other 4 editions.
Next, you're gonna have to bring the Endor one. We gotta bring our Endor ones.
No way. I thought about it. I was like, I can't.
I have 4 signed copies from Joe, but I didn't get the editor to sign it. So do I take those 4? I'm definitely taking the 6. I have 6 that aren't signed and 4 that are signed. So I'm taking.
What do you mean the editor? Why are you being cryptic? Like which editor? There's like 6 of them.
Editor.
I'm not sure which ones will be there. I know Kyle will probably be there. I'm hopeful that other editors will be there as well.
Kyle will probably be there.
Just again,
he's at the
using deductive reasoning.
Well, it's actually just funny because like Nick, Ken Palpatine, Nick, and Kyle and Joe, their flight got canceled in the midst of the first Legends Con, so they showed up in the middle of the first day.
And I remember that too. I remember when they showed up because like all day was like, "Where's Joe? When's Joe getting in here?" And that's that booth was kind of dead. And then like
me and Arthur were like the only 2 people standing right there by the booth all day.
Arthur refused to leave.
And then like I forget how, but like someone got info that like Joe's plane landed, and all of a sudden people were like around the kind of like
we're like
were
waiting
passing by just to make sure. And then as soon as he showed up in the convention, there's like 30 people already in line.
Yep, the word got around. That they were going to be able to buy the book.
He's a celebrity.
It was crazy. It was all like organic. It was all just people being like, "Hey, by the way, when's Joe?" Like just like talking like word of mouth of Joe's here. When's Joe getting in? The Joe's flight and all.
The sage has arrived.
I just get a text like the eagle has landed.
Yeah, I'll be standing there at an airport with a sign for Joe. When he arrives, as soon as he's there.
Yeah. Speaking of Joe, I gotta get the sealed Gamer 1 copy for the Marvel series.
Yep.
Nice.
I had to get the bubble.
Maxwell got that signed last time, and I regretted so badly that I hadn't purchased one yet. So currently, there's like 4-ish main things that I want to get before the con. I want to get that issue right there for Joe. I want to get another book that Joe has a writing credit in called Secrets of the Force that was a fan book that's on Amazon, so I want to track that down as well. I want to get the Insider issue that has Shannon McRandall as Mara Jade as the cover. I had purchased it, and then the seller never sent it to us because they lost it in their garage. And so I had to get a refund. I have to track it down again.
Very Joe-coded. But if you want, here's 60% or more saved on Star Wars Gamer if you fill this out and mail it in.
Have Joe fill it out. Have
1
Joe
year.
fill it out.
I always wonder, like, where do those go? Like, I always have those in old comic books. It's like, what would happen if I mailed it in? It would get returned to sender probably, but I just wonder.
You get awarded with a rare copy of Escape from Dagu.
There's just an intern working at DC Comics who just throws that into the incinerator next to all the fans.
No, they're like nobody ever sends these in anymore. You get awarded with like the last 3 that we have in stock.
I mean, I wonder about how useful those could have been for Dig Magazine. Apparently, there were a couple Dig magazines waiting around in one of their archive factories with the coveted Star Wars issue. So, you never know what backlogs could have been waiting there. for all that time.
There was that Celebration 2010 exclusive Dark Horse printing of the Clone Wars web exclusives. Yeah, those were sitting around in a warehouse at Dreams and Visions Press because they were the actual publishers of it, even though it was Dark Horse Comics. And those were around for years on eBay. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that they got finally sold.
I grabbed one right before it went off because for a while you'd see eBay prices where they would go for over 300 consistently. And I saw it for 29 and I was like, whoa. And so I quickly snagged that and was pretty pleased with what I thought was a great deal. The two other things that I'd love to grab is John Whitman's Tales of the Jedi audio dramas. I'm debating CD or cassette tape or both. Maybe just both. But it's like, how much can I do? How much can I take? My car only has so much room, but I'd love to get.
You could
I'm
listen
big in
to the
physical
CD
media. On the way there, absolutely, yeah. But then the cassette tapes are like a really pleasing size and dimension, but the CD looks so cool and it's like a little cardboard sleeve. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but there's so many interesting things you could get for these authors to have signed, which I think if you bring them some really cool, unique stuff, it just shows even more that you care about their works. And I think they'll be pretty pleased to see a variety of stuff.
May I?
Yeah,
Building off of you bringing Michael Kogi, that West End Games Journal, is what the Adventure Journal is what got this on my radar. And Scott and Marcel, you're going to be, if you hadn't thought of this, you're going to be so pumped with me right now. John Whitman wrote this, you guys.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, shoot. I missed out on that. Dang it.
That's so cool.
I bet he hasn't signed one of those before. I won't bore you with
the story of this, but it is like super obscure. It's a custom book, right? That you send in your information to get your name printed in it. And long story short, Chris Nelson found a person who bought the backstock and they had it available on their website to buy today from 1999. This is a adaptation of the Phantom Menace that I've got my name in, like as if I'm one of the characters. And Matt, Scott, Marcel, we'll be the only 3 people in the world that have this signed.
I have this with no pages in it too. I
just bought that so I could make a video explaining them. That's weird. It's a different size.
Yeah, it's huge. Like I was like, what the heck is this? It doesn't fit on the shelf.
I'm gonna know that he wrote this. Or remember?
Do you think you'll even know?
Now that's a book I haven't seen in a long time.
I'm glad that it says written by John Whitman on the back of these. Otherwise, he might be like, "What are you asking for?"
Yep.
This is something I'd like to get signed by Denning.
No.
This is an advanced Del Rey copy that I got from Chris. And I'd like to get this signed, but where would I get this signed?
The cover,
where it wouldn't degrade it. Like there's a big white spot on the cover. Is that where I'd sign it? I might have to ask to Chris if that would devalue it, or the interior, or perhaps on the letter that came with it. I'm just not sure.
I would do the interior.
Yeah,
probably.
What about the letter as well? Perhaps I don't know.
Not the letter. I don't like it.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
It would be like, how did you get a copy of this? This is unauthorized now.
Well, you'd probably know that I'm way younger than I might not have been. Oh, I was alive. I was 4 years old when this came out.
Dear God, jeez.
So yeah,
don't say things like
Dear
that, please.
God.
So completely unrelated, but the trailer for Skeleton Crew just came out on StarWars.com. I mean Star Wars YouTube. So that's something we gotta watch after this.
I do have high hopes for it, but though that is a continuity contrary to the one we're celebrating.
That's
so
true. But it gives me kind of Galaxy of Fear vibes. I know it won't be. But I'm hopeful.
Skeleton Crew, also written by John Whitman.
Yeah, John Whitman.
One thing back to the topic of.
I'd tune in.
Back to the topic of getting things signed. One thing I will say, and I remember when I went to Stover, and my copy of Trader is a paperback copy of Trader that is it either is a first edition or second edition printing, and it looks like it. It is ratty and torn and worn and like worn.
Went through the
And I remember
washing machine.
saying to him, I apologize for the condition of some of these books. And he said, never apologize for having a worn book, because that is the biggest compliment you can give to an author.
Yeah, if it's new, if it's freshly sealed, it's clear you haven't read it. Put a crease in your book before going to Legends Con.
Dylan,
What
how
about a
many
worn
books did you
action
have
figure?
Michael Stackpole sign?
I had
He
all
had
of his
a
extra.
full box full of books, and he just
You just
unloaded
like,
all.
yeah, just lifted
Okay, so
it
I
up
had
there.
the 5 X-Wing books. I had the 2 Dark Tide, and I had iJedi. I think that was all that he wrote. And then I also had, because I found this, the booth that was right next to the Twin Sons booth was a comic book, and they had issue 1 of Union for like $5. So I'm just like sold, and I just bought issue 1 of Union, and then I'm like, hey, but I also have this.
That was awesome. It was awesome. It was a big line too. Not to like give you a hard time, but you.
Other
Things,
things,
no, I've got this whole box, and Michael Stackpole is like, sure.
I'd love to take some adventure journals as well. It's a long shot because I really wanted to get Barbara so that I have something for Barbara Hambley this time around since I got my paperback signed. I'd love to get Murder in Slush Time, the most amazing, nuanced, most G-rated Star Wars short story ever put to paper. But that's in Adventure Journal number 11, I believe, which, if you're a collector, is the one that consistently goes for over 200 or 300.
Do
So
you
that's the one
think?
that you can't really get.
Do you
John
think if I
Whitman
got
wrote that moon also for an adventure journal, if anybody's trying to.
if I were to get
KJA too. Sorry.
that picture of Abeloth fighting the Jedi and the Sith, but it's like Callista Abeloth, and she's just like this, and she's fighting. If I were to just get that like blown up, do you think Barbara Hambley would sign it?
Yeah, well,
No way. He
It's-
hated that ending.
it's in the Essential Readers Companion, right?
Is it okay?
I think so.
That's
Just have her
right.
sign that page, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
to save
Marcel.
time.
Story
Oh,
for
the
Tales,
question
for one of
people,
the Tales anthologies. Did she do like Mos Eisley or Jabba's Palace?
Yeah, she did. She did. She did the Milu Unath one. Oh dang, I forget the name of it. It's like
A lot of those Bantam authors, KJA and her, would have credits in those stories for sure. Those would be good ones
Those
to
are
get
definitely
signed.
ones to bring. Definitely ones.
You could just bring the Essential Readers Companion and just flip through to the picture of the book for each author on the page and just be like, "Hey, sign this page." Really save space.
I mean, that's actually not
every
bad.
book
Like,
is
if
gonna
anybody
read it.
has a one of the compilations of the films, this is one of my ideas, was to bring something like that and then just have a bunch of people sign it, not just like the authors, but like you guys.
yeah, that's
like
Night
a-
Lily. Night Lily is the one that Barbara Hambley wrote, but also there's some Kevin J. Anderson stories in those. Like even in the Tales from Jabba's
Taster's
Palace, I
Choice?
think. Yeah, Taster's Choice. He also wrote the IG-88 book. Therefore I Am. So, I mean, those anthology books have a lot of opportunity to get signed. Also, there's actually trading cards of a lot of those Jabba's Palace and like Cantina characters, like the Feltapran Travag, the character in Barbara Hambley's book. There's also a Milu Unath card, and even like IG-88. I would have like Kevin J. Anderson just sign the IG-88 card because he's the author.
I'm
Oh,
so
man,
getting
it's
this
not-
now. I did not know that. Yeah, I love this book. This is so going over.
I thought for a split second there was a card of KJA in costume as one of his characters, but that's Stackpole and Zahn.
Stackpole and Zahn and Shannon. But
Yeah.
I'll just throw this up real quick. I mean, I'm not a big autograph guy. I probably won't
Could have
bring
had
a lot.
KJA Kip.
Yeah, but this is cool. Like this Micro Machines. So Kevin J. Anderson wrote Jedi Search, obviously. This is a cool little thing. You could probably, doesn't take up much space. Get him to sign that. This is real cheap too on eBay. You could probably get it $10-12.
You don't have the one for Dark Apprentice, do you?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
That's like 300. It was short printed.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, I remember when they were at Toys R Us. Like I actually bought them when they were on the shelves. I obviously didn't keep those in the box. I bought later, but I had the figures as a kid.
Did you open up the Dark Apprentice one?
No, that was never in stores, unfortunately. I think it was short printed. There were a couple Micro Machines. They did it overseas. I know because I collect them in other series. Like they did IndyCar back. They had several licenses for different franchises and stuff. And there's some series like the 1997 IndyCar Micro Machines, very short printed, similar to Dark Apprentice and what was the other one? Dark Force Rising. And I think there's a Courtship of Princess Leia as well, but those are like $300 each.
Anyone else got any other books that they'd like to show? I think Brady's been gathering a stack over there. Yeah.
All right. So I think you guys showed this one.
Yeah.
I found this at a thrift store. It was like 50 cents or something. And
Nice.
I looked and
I
I
spent
saw
like
it was
$8 each on mine.
Oh, really? Oh, I only have this one. And I think isn't this a adaptation of the what's that famous ugly cover book, the Dantooine?
Ruins of Dantooine.
Ruins of Dantooine. Isn't that this story? Or
No.
this is that? No? Okay. Maybe I misread that somewhere. And then I have these. Oh, wait.
Can you imagine someone adapting Ruins of Dantooine?
please, new EU.
Maybe what it was it took place like around that same time. And
Yeah, it
Imagine
definitely
a-
happens in the same, like right next to each other. but
Imagine
it's
a
not the same
Dark
story.
Horse Ruins of Dantooine comic, but the interior art is just video game screenshots, just
Oh,
like
no.
the cover of the book.
Oh my
That's
Didn't they
a
do that
winner.
with one of the tales, with one of Star Wars tales? They did like a photo comic or
Oh,
something.
they did. They did do that in one of the tales. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why I was thinking they should bring in some old Lucas Arts employees, particularly like for something like the Star Wars Galaxies. There's a lot of EU lore involved in that. I'd love to hear the backstory about that. They got Knights of the Old Republic. They got KOTOR now, which is the only real like ongoing expanded universe project now. I think all of those different aspects need to play a role, like need to have a seat at the table. Obviously it's a lot to ask for and you got to coordinate all this, but it's just something I'd like to see.
I'd especially love someone like Jay Watamaniak or someone who had been working with BioWare for SWOTOR,
What's his name?
Jay Watamaniak, Watamaniuk. He wrote several short stories that were released on the site, but the nature of, I'm so curious what the agreement is for these EU SWOTOR short stories to be put on the site even post 2014, right? So see, it's stuff like that. The purpose of conventions like this is meeting with each other in a really safe space where we can just have fun and talk EU, and also getting to know some of the behind the scenes stuff of these people who worked with Chris Avalon too. Man, that would be great. It would be great to know some of the inner workings of some of our favorite studios and what they were doing within the EU.
Right.
I think this is the perfect opportunity, perhaps one of the only, to get stories like that,
Right. And to ask the tough questions, to ask what's going on, how are they creating short stories and keeping them in continuity, or are they keeping them in continuity? To get the people behind that talking and get that on the record for posterity's sake, I think is big. But I don't know if Brady finished, so I'll let him.
Okay. No,
Sorry.
you guys are good. I had some other books, but I they were actually Ryder Wynnum books, but I don't think he'll be there. But I have the Sci-Fi Book Club.
Nice.
The
Is that
Rise of the
sealed?
Shadow- No, it's not.
It's
It's
Mylar
kind of beat up a little
Okay,
bit. But I'd like to get these signed. I have the single books as well. And then I have Sci-Fi Book Club.
I'll have to
Jedi
go out and
Academy.
get that one. That volume looks so nice on the shelf.
This one I found in the wild. No, they don't have the price on it anymore. I got it for a real good deal. Then we have these books.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to get these.
Oh yes, I need to take those too, for sure.
Then I think did he write Jedi versus Sith?
Dan Wallace did.
Dan Wallace. Okay.
Yeah.
And then also I have this book. It's the so I got this on my 8th birthday. This was probably one of the books that really got me into the EU. It's all beat up, doesn't have the dust jacket anymore, but it is the it is a compilation hardcover of the new essential characters, weapons and technology, and vehicles and vessels. And so Daniel Wallace wrote the first one, the characters, and so it'd be really nice to have this signed. Since it goes so far back.
I think he wrote 2 others. I think he wrote Droids and Planets and Moons as well.
Okay, because I think I have those ones too, but those are the single ones.
He wrote the second edition of New Essential Guide to Characters.
Yeah.
Because there's two volumes, like the second round of Essential Guides.
Yeah, the first round from Bantam era and the second round from prequel era.
So
how
yes,
hard to find are the essential guides that are in hardcover? Because I have a mix of essential guides in paperback and hardcover.
They used to be available at Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
I remember it, like the discount shelves. Up until a couple of years ago, they were still available. I saw them every once in a while.
The hardcover ones.
Yeah.
I will say about the
maybe I should take one of those.
So I will say about the collections, this is just a personal opinion of mine, but I actually have the singles of all of them, except I have a 3-in-1 of one of the collection of the new essential collections, and I actually prefer the single ones because when you have to reference a single thing from one of them, it is a lot easier when you just have one book to flip through than when you have 3 books to flip through, especially when you're trying to get to the one that's in the middle.
And it's very
takes
heavy.
a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super heavy.
Yes, it is. Now I don't know but the author of the Junior Jedi Knight books, this was Kevin J. Anderson's wife. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
No, Junior Jedi was someone else.
It was Nancy Richardson
The
wrote
last-
the first
For the
three.
first
the
3,
last
and then the
3
last
were-
3 were
Rebecca
right.
Roy.
Yeah.
I don't know the probability of her being there, but it would be very
I've heard she's retired from the convention scene,
the
right?
convention scene.
I'm pretty sure we've heard that pretty definitively.
Okay. I just saw those and I was like, usually, sometimes they might travel together. I don't know. But those ones I got I spent some pretty good money on those ones.
Yeah.
To get them signed would be really neat. But that and then I also have, but it's at my parents' house. It's the Sci-Fi Book Club of the Tales books by Kevin J. Anderson. It's his 3 all in one, and so to get that signed would be pretty neat. And then the individual stories for the different other authors that are there, because I think they might have some in there. But yeah.
Going back to the essential guides, Maxine, haven't you been upgrading your paperbacks to hardcovers?
Yeah. So I had never had any of the hardcovers because, I guess I just wasn't there for it. So I just kind of got scattered paperbacks here and there. But lately I have been kind of going back and getting the hardcover variants. I don't know. There's something about a hardcover reference guide that just kind of hits different, I love those reference guides. They're so cool and they're so much fun. So I don't care, I got 2 of each, but who cares? It's, that's what we do as collectors.
100%. There's no need to replace for me. Now, I'm not struggling currently with apartment issues, but when I move out of my family house, I'm sure I will run into apartment storage of EU issues. But currently, I am absolutely all for what Max is saying. It's not just paperback or hardcover. Let's have them both. because why would I want to choose between favorite mediums? They're both so cool, you know.
Yeah.
What's
Some days
books?
you're
Do
feeling
you guys
hardcover
prefer
books.
paperback or hardcover?
Paperback for reading, hardcover for longevity.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yep.
I
like
actually
the-
prefer reading digital, and then sometimes even
You maniac.
it's easier to read it digitally because like I work at a school, and so whenever I have like downtime, it's hard to lug a book around. And then like if I'm at the beach or something, I don't want to get it covered with sand, but I like collecting that hardcover. But yeah,
why don't you like sand?
because it's coarse and rough and irritating, and it just gets everywhere.
I was actually converted to digital specifically for comics, and that I guess I'm spoiled because I got the Dark Horse Mega Bundle, so I have all of them. But for books, I can't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I can get that.
digital for a quick reference, and then paperback for the uniformity on a shelf and reading. It's just really easy to be able to manipulate. However, mess it up, somewhat easy to get a new copy, or a better looking one, and then a reading copy, and then hardcover for just to keep it looking nice.
I mean, I like hardcovers on the shelf. I don't know if that's controversial.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But it is a shelf space thing for me. So, and I would say I definitely prefer reading paperbacks. I've never been able to get. I do for comics just because if you look at the financials, the comics, because I read non-Star Wars comics as well. Like digital is definitely the way to go there. But I do collect physical Star Wars comics because love how they look on the shelf. But I would say for most books, I massively prefer paper over digital for sure for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's I prefer reading paperbacks. I don't mind how they look on the shelf. It's I dragged Star by Star all the way up to the Great White North, to the tundra, and I also took a paperback of I think Edge of Victory 2, and Edge of Victory 2 was so nice. And then I got to the hardcover of Star by Star. I was dying with my hands. With comics, I generally prefer hardcover because they're usually oversized. And for me, I don't like digital comics at all. If I can avoid it in any way, I'm going to. So
Max is saying she has to hop off, but I'm hoping she's gonna pop on and say goodbye.
Yeah. Hi. So I have to go. It's a little late, and I just got off work as well. But I'm glad I got to pop in just for a little bit and be involved in this excellent stream. So I'm gonna go lay down and relax the rest of the night. So thank you all for
Good to
having
see
me.
you.
Bye, Max.
Max,
good
thank
to
you.
see you too.
Max,
Good to
thank you
see
so
you.
much for stopping in despite being further away and making sure
Yeah.
to make it. Thank you for promoting it as well. Can't wait to meet you for the first time. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Max.
See ya.
We're bigger. And I got the logo. I'm not affiliated with Legends Con 2.
You can move your head, dodge it.
Sorry, who was talking? Al?
oh yeah, I was just talking about the comics, digital comics. What about you, Arthur? You a paperback guy? You a hardcover with books and or comics?
I'm a mass market paperback, and they all have Legends banners on them because I'm a disloyal new reader. That
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Can I show you all this? Reasoning for my collecting. Hardcovers are slightly off. The line at the top. Do you see that? Slightly different sizes. I love the hardcover look. It irritates me because I have slight OCD.
Use a buzzsaw.
Look, that might be a good idea. Look how beautiful these mass market paperbacks are, all in a line. You could cut yourself. That's so sharp.
Okay,
But
the
then
problem
look at
problem
these
though.
Legends banners. They look beautiful all lined up like that. So then I'm like, do I want Legends banners and non-Legends banners? It just becomes such a headache for me.
Just
Okay,
swap
It's a
out
beautiful headache.
all
Buy all
Essential
of them.
Legends collection.
Get all of them.
The issue is that they're not really making mass market paperbacks anymore. Like the industry's moved away from it, and this is like actually probably an issue for Twin Suns as well, because mass market paperbacks are by and large cheaper than the Essential Legends books that they're pumping out now. And so it's being hard. I don't know, like Dylan, are you finding it's harder to find those books?
I have a video on my channel about exactly that.
Do you?
My most
Okay.
recent
Whoops.
video.
I've been out of it.
It's my most recent video. It's about a year old. That's how much I care about my channel.
There were some. There were some that we looked for when we were ordering that we couldn't find, I think.
And it's essentially, from what I've seen, because I checked all of them, if a book has the books that do not have an Essential Legends collection printing are still available in mass market paperback. The ones that don't are the ones that do have one.
That's
now, it's not
interesting.
all of the ones. It's not all of the ones. A lot of the newer, the later waves, you can still find those in mass market paperbacks, but the early waves are almost impossible and don't exist anymore in mass market paperback. And also, this is on Amazon. Barnes & Noble, as soon as they get a mass market, the Essential Legends collection of a book, they take off the listing of the mass market paperbacks.
Yep.
Those are not available on Barnes & Noble, and on Amazon, they're becoming rare and rare.
So for a collector like me, or if you're concerned about like rarity of books and stuff like that, I'm a big MMPB guy. Mass market paperback is the way to go for me. The ELC sizes, it's a cool idea, and I love that we're able to have new cover art sometimes when it's decent, and I like that it's able to reach a new audience, right? Get these books back out there, fresh set of eyes on them. Super positive, all about that. But it just feels like an excuse to make the book more expensive to me at the same time, and then it's phasing out a size that I really enjoy. I love these little bricks. They're so fun and endearing. They're like little brick-sized little paperback things, you know? They're
Modular
super
stacking.
fun. Yeah, perfect for stacking.
Yeah.
Whatever way you want. It's so fun to lay them out. Like sometimes I'll just lay them out in my bed or put my books on the floor like Arthur. You know, it's just really fun to do. And it's unfortunate that they're being phased out. And so for someone like me, if you notice, the non-Legends banner mass market paperbacks are more valuable than the Legends banner ones. They'll retail for more on the secondhand market. So my concern now is with ELCs replacing Legends banner ones. If you want to get Legends banner MMPBs, those will probably skyrocket. So if you think you'll ever care about that, might be prudent to, when you see the new wave drop, go out and buy the Legends banner ones that are going to be in that wave prior to them going out on shelves.
Yeah, I will say one thing though, having received the 56 books that we ordered for our last donation, the quality of the mass market paperbacks is almost like print on demand. It almost seems like when you order it on Amazon, they just print it because the glue is a little bit inconsistent. So just be careful. Like the quality is not the same as it was back in the day. Now with the Legends banner mass market paperbacks, if you do order them now, obviously they may not be around forever, but just bear in mind you may have some quality problems.
I also think that even if you have the mass market paperbacks, it is impossible to have either a complete non-bannered collection or a complete bannered collection, because the last few releases only came out with the banner because they were released after the switch happened. And there are, for some reason, there's like half a dozen books that just don't have a banner printing. They still print them without the banner, and I don't know why. But if you are truly OCD, even with the mass market paperbacks, you will not have a complete collection, complete uniform collection either way. And it's tragic.
I don't think there's a Legends banner for
No, there's not. Or is it two
Jedi.
of the Black Fleets? Two of the Black Fleets as well?
I think it's Knight Errant and
one of the Coruscant
Knight
Knights.
Errant.
One of the Coruscant Knights as well. doesn't have a Legends
Corellian
banner.
trilogy, because I know we get ambushed at Corellia all the time for Twin Sons. That has never come to us with a banner. Every time we get ambushed at Corellia, it's not bannered. Even this past year, back in March when we did Scott's events, we had some and they didn't have the banner on them.
It's so interesting. This is all, well, maybe to not all of our viewers, but it's very interesting to me at least. I just find it fascinating, all of the different ways you can collect the books. Maybe around to the panelists, if you could get a hardcover signed, an ELC, a bannered paperback, or a regular paperback, what would be your preference for which one you get signed at Legends Con 2?
Sci-Fi Book Club hardcover or regular hardcover?
Either one, or Inkstone Books hardcover as well, as we're starting to see. Yeah. So the floor is open. Which medium would you prefer to get signed if you could choose?
I mean,
Probably-
I'm team. Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm team paperback. Yeah, this is the book I really want to get signed. It's my copy of Invincible, and it was
Nice.
That was I actually read Legacy of the Force before New Jedi Order originally.
Wow.
Kind of a mistake, but so and also it's just I'm flying there, so I have a lot of space concerns, obviously, like many of you other people do. So I'm team paperback.
Nice.
I'm
You got good
hardcover
paper
for me.
has the bubble letters and the shiny letters there.
That's so nice. That makes them so much better than the Legends banner reprints, doesn't it? That's just extra special gold foil on the cover. The
Especially-
indent when you open it up on the inside just feels so special.
Especially
Yeah,
the
it's like
young
textured,
Jedi Knights ones. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah.
Probably hardcover for me. That's what I'll be trying to get all those signed. I think just as a collectible type of way for me, I'll be driving, so I don't have to worry too much about space.
Same for me. Yeah.
But, yeah.
See, I think hardcover is just so beautiful and durable, flexible. Like having a signature is just a masterpiece. And there's things I want to get signed that I only have a soft paperback, and this is falling apart. But I definitely still want to get it signed.
Yeah.
But
There does exist a hardcover for that. It's a compilation of all three.
I was trying to look, and I see one. I see one for $50.
Yeah.
I got one of
Brady.
those. I want to get that signed. That 3-in-1 hardcover.
That's a good one.
I don't know about the people that went last year, but I think some of us spent more money in prep for LC2 to make sure, for the first Legends Con, to make sure we had all the stuff we wanted to get signed than we might have spent at the actual event. So you had to make sure we had everything perfect.
Only good games, man. He broke the bank.
That guy went insane. He got everything you could ever have wanted for it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else have a preference for what medium you would like to get? And Brady, I assume you mean standard hardcover. Same with Logan, more than smaller
if I have a
SFPs.
sci-fi book club, for the compilation books, like a 3-in-1 or different ones like that. But the standard ones would be nice.
It's hardcover for me. I got my copy of I, Jedi signed by Mike Stackpole, amongst other things, at Legends Con 1, and it was a paperback, and I decided to try and read it earlier this year, just reread it, and part of it got just a little tiny little bit of the cover got torn off. And I was like, this is a signed copy of Mike Stackpole, and it just killed me inside. And that wouldn't have happened with a hardcover. So that's my reasoning.
That's pretty good reasoning.
Yeah. Marcel, you bringing anything? Did you already show it? Did I just space out?
No, but it's all behind me.
It's bringing Matt's collection to get signed.
If you guys had to bring one thing, if you don't got anything else that you can bring, what are you bringing? What are you bringing?
Yeah, probably Dan Wallace's Essential Guide to Planets and Moons, because that is one of my favorite books in the entire EU.
Probably the Denning advanced copy for me would be the one thing I would take, or my Supernatural Encounters Defensor Fortis edition. Oh wait, I don't need to take that one. Yeah.
So I actually have some other books that I'd like to get signed by an author. I've actually done some of his book reviews on my channel. It is the Tales of the Galaxy.
Oh yes,
nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
you guys can see that.
I got one of those signed already.
Oh, you did? I've got that one.
I need to get that signed. Yeah.
I need to get 2 more.
Wait, I need to get the More Civilized Age he wrote too.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That probably will be my favorite author there.
And Joe's got two essays there in that one. So
true.
Oh yes. Get 2 signatures for that one. I need to pick those up.
2 signatures. He has to sign both stories and the front of the book.
Which I actually have his signed for the contributor's copy of Supernatural Encounters. But I'll probably have to get I think someone showed the Amazon copies. I'll have to bring those too.
Same, definitely.
Yeah, because that those are less people have those signed or no one. So
oh, this is cool.
Pretty much everybody's copies are signed because contributor they got them at LC1, but the Amazon copies, it'll be a rarer thing to have those and signed.
This is cool. This here, Son of Luke, Ryan, he got the last panel of the last comic of Legacy Volume 2 signed by Karina Becco. For those who don't know, Dark Horse knew that was it, and so they put The Very Last Stand as the subtitle for it. So that's an emotional one. I still tear up watching Matt Wilkins' video where he like holds it up and he's like, "This is it. Decades of my hobby, and this is the last piece." That still gets me. So that's a cool idea to get that last panel signed. That is a really neat idea.
I read to my daughter the what was it? The Storyteller Tales. At the end of it's in one of the Epic collections. It's the final volume for Legacy. Right after it, they have it in the Epic collections. I read to her the Storyteller with C-3PO, and we both kind of went, "Oh, that's so sad." Like,
I love it. It's the perfect ending for Star Wars, in my opinion. It's
which
like
I think it's ended. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, I think it's followed by the final prism or something. I think that's what it is. That final Visionaries artwork. But you were saying
Fourth Precept, yeah.
Fourth Precept. That's what it is. Yeah.
So to me, the Storyteller is the perfect ending because it just ends saying it begins or something like that. It's like the Star Wars saga repeats, and it's like from one generation to the next, it will always continue the cycle, and it's really beautiful, kind of a little bit creepy, but it's kind of haunting but beautiful and poetic, and I just love it. I think it's honestly amazing.
Yeah. So we got Dawn of the Jedi a year or two before the discontinuation and that, but for the longest time, the very first panel was Golden Age of the Sith, and that was written by Kevin J. Anderson. So you can get that signed at LegendsCon 2. And then have both the first panel and the last panel. Obviously, it's not the first panel anymore, unless we get John Ostrander there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome. He friended me on Facebook recently, which was cool to see.
If we get John, we got to get Jan, right? They come as a package.
Yeah,
you'd think so.
But I'll say hardcover Sci-Fi Book Club. The only thing about getting books signed, like for me, it's like I can't read it anymore. It's too like valuable. Like I wouldn't want to mess it up at that point. I'm wondering if I can get one of those book displays I showed off. I wonder if I could fit one of those on a plane.
No way.
Like, in a bag.
So cool.
Because
that would be insane.
Yeah, I think I have one of Mike Stackpole. I have like Wedge's Gamble for the X-Wing series.
You should. You
couple
should do
Kevin
a road
J.
trip
You're gonna need
style.
to ship that. You're gonna need to ship that.
If you can't get it on the plane, do it road trip style and meet up with me and Brady when we drive our way in there.
they sort of
couple-
fold up, but the one I'd like to get signed is the Young Jedi Knights one that has the Jedi Temple
with the exclusive art of the pilot on it. Is it that one?
Right. Yeah, but that's like the biggest one because it has like all these attachments and
Pop
stuff.
out
I
bits.
probably wouldn't need to bring the whole thing, but the other ones are a little bit more manageable. You can kind of fold them up. So I may try that. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I think if there's one thing I'd like to get signed, it would be one of those.
Marcel, you got something? Yeah, you got something. There it is.
Guides.
Oh, nice.
Look at this. This thing is incredible. It's like it has like cross sections of the planets and stuff like that. Also, weirdly, if you look, you probably can't see it because the background, but there's like a little stain on this that looks like the Rebel Alliance logo on the S of this Star Wars. Here, can you blow up my screen, Brennan? See if we can see that stain.
This is
it's on the S of Star.
New EU.
You can barely see it. It's like that little stain, like right over there, but it looks exactly like the Rebel Alliance logo, and I'm reluctant to clean it off. So I feel like I'm just gonna leave it on there. It's like when people see like Jesus on like a taco or something like that. It's a sign. And of course, the greatest planet in the entire Star Wars galaxy, Jitapatan.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, is that the one with the monks? With the monk people? Yeah.
No, that got wiped out by the Yvetha, right?
Yeah,
Like
in Black. Yeah. They got taken out.
What I find so bizarre about this book is that it covers it even has like the droids stuff and the Ewoks movie stuff, but it doesn't have any Marvel Star Wars stuff in it.
Oh man.
Right. The Essential Guide to Characters does touch on a couple of things, like Flint is mentioned, but he doesn't have his own like character page. He's like in the body of some other stuff, like Luke's, or I forget what it was.
But is there a Lumia nod in there or not?
I'm not sure. I know
she's in the second one. I think
it does mention the Rebel pilots that they look for in the arc after The Empire Strikes Back about the Death Star plans. It does mention both pilots. So early on, there was some attempt to bring in some of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And just going back to what you said, Marcel, about the Rebel Alliance symbol, it's funny when I look at my old like stuff, like old magazines, old essential guides and stuff. It's like I used to draw like Star Wars art, TIE fighters, and X-wings.
Yeah.
And you'd press too hard, on the page, and it would leave an indentation on whatever you're writing against. And I have like all those indentations in the back cover and the front cover. And sometimes like there's old homework, multiplication tables and stuff. It's like there's like ancient history like etched into the covers of some of that stuff.
That's awesome.
I love it.
On the back of one of my books is the indentations for a book report that I wrote on Scourge. I had to write it on notebook paper in like 6th, 7th grade, somewhere in there. And you can see like the start of the essay, like my teacher's name at the top, the grade, all of that. Like you can see it faintly in the top corner because I just used the back cover to lean on, that's so cool. So wild. Is there anything else that anyone would like to show or would like to talk about in regards to this? Is going to be great because Legends Con 2 is going to be like what we're doing right now, but no technological disruption or delay of any kind. Seamless in-person communication, and it'll be glorious.
I'll just mention one thing real quick. Don't forget about posters. So for Legacy of the Force, Fate of the Jedi, there are some posters that Troy Denning could possibly sign. He was an author in both of those series. So there's some cool like cover art associated with that. Look on eBay, browse some of these websites for official Star Wars EU posters, but there's also, you can just print out your own knockoff stuff. I think Maxine showed off some of the stuff that she printed. Right. Yeah. So I mean, posters can fold up or they can roll up. You can bring them in a tube. So just
bringing a tube in and of itself might be a good idea. I wish I brought some tubes to the first one because the tube they gave us. Bring a tube.
So I'm just don't stress yourself out with the books. Like obviously you can't bring anything. Bring a couple or bring as many as you can if you want. But there's also other options out there to get stuff signed.
Imagine if Tsuneo Sanda was there, because he did the comic covers, and like remember the Dark Horse with all the Dark Horse characters on it. That
Ooh,
Ooh.
getting that. Fun.
ooh, ooh, that would be great. See, imagine how cool it would be. You know, the person who did the Japanese New Jedi Order cover art. Imagine.
These are the people we have to send invites to. Obviously, you
Yeah.
can't like send them or pay their airfare from Japan because I'm sure they
Richard,
live in
you have some of those copies.
I have
those physical copies.
I have quite a bunch. Yeah. I not sure if I'm gonna bring them just because, but I actually do have some duplicates, so I might bring some of them. But
Hey,
Yeah.
Brennan, put up Chris's comment.
So
That would be cool.
Ooh.
That's a
Ooh,
good
I-
idea.
okay, yeah, definitely.
That's a good idea.
that I'll have to do that.
I have
Ooh.
5 copies of Marvel 108. Which one do I bring?
Yeah.
all of
Number
them.
3. Number 3.
The one with Jackson on the cover for sure. Because wait, was he on all of them? No, he was on one of them. Yeah, that's
It's
the
on, like,
one
7, 8,
Oh,
something like that.
of the Marvel 108.
He's
ones.
on issue 7 or issue.
Oh yeah, he's on those too. Yeah, he's on one of the variant covers for Marvel 108 as well. I think.
Yeah, Chris, I don't. I only have the 5 that came out the first day. I don't have the 2 $30 ones that came out like weeks later.
Was that the all white one or something like that they did?
Yeah, no. The all white one was a day 1 one. I forget the 2. There were 7 in total. 5 came out day 1, and 2 were available like a couple weeks later. But I could never track those down, and they were like $30 if I remember correctly each.
One thing that I wanted to do at the first event, which I'd been planning to do, in fact, I'd printed up a little graphic. I made a little graphic of all of my friends that I knew were going to be at the event. I had a little grid, basically, that I was going to print it out on paper. I was going to have my friends sign the paper and then frame it when I got back.
So he can commit identity theft.
Not that, but I like the way you think. That being said, a cool way that my mom reminded me of that I could potentially get stuff signed is back when I would go to church camps when I was younger, we'd have a camp shirt, and then we'd all sign each other's camp shirt. And me and Arthur are currently rocking Legends Con 2 shirts, which is available on the merch for the Legends Con 2 store. So I can screen share that perhaps briefly before we. What's it Marcel would say?
Logo, and this is the consortium logo. So that legend, the one you've got, is not going to be available past this year, and presumably this one.
This might be the one to get, and there's printing on the on the back as well, as I somewhat gracefully demonstrated.
Yeah, Legends Con doesn't have any donations going currently. I don't know if they're going to, but they don't now. So this is the only way to support them there.
Yeah, so if you're like me, a sentimental weirdo who thinks, I'd like to remember all my friends who I got to meet and get to hang out with at the event, bring, a silver or gold Sharpie, and, you can get the back signed by all the people while you're out there to remember who was there, who you were hanging out with. It could be a cool idea.
Fun fact, the Legends Consortium logo was developed and created by none other than Guillaume Ducos, who is the one of the 2 artists of
this
Supernatural
one here,
Encounters.
right?
Yeah, that's the one.
I can see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he designed many
That's
of the really iconic covers. The Endor one that's used on the cover. The Typho Gem one, I believe, as well on the hardcover.
I thought it was Raymond. Raymond did the other things, yeah?
Raymond O'Brien?
Yeah, Raymond O'Brien's done the other work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, killer.
So, yeah.
Killer. I just learned that he's a tattoo artist. Is where he gets his skill.
Legends Con 2 tattoo right here. Legends Con 2 logo right there. Will I get a job? Maybe not. Will I be cool? Yes. Can we go for Fellowship of the Rings? They got the matching ankle tattoo or somewhere tattoo of Elvish. We get the LC2 logo by the designer,
So are you saying, Brendan, that if you get 2,000 subscribers before LegendsCon, you will get it put on your forehead?
Not on
That's
my
what I'm hearing.
forehead, but I'll get. I don't think I will get. Okay, wait. Let me think about this. Just a second.
You may be agreeing to something that you probably shouldn't.
I'm not putting it in print, but I don't think I'll get 2,000 subs by LC2. But I want to get a tattoo anyways. If I got 3,000, there we go. I think that's a safe, unattainable goal. I would get an LC2 tattoo somewhere very small, and somewhere that can be hidden. So there you go.
Nice.
I probably am going to come to regret that. Or I'm just going to forget about it and someone's going to snip it and send it to me in like 2 years.
I am going to create
It's already been done.
1,900 alts and subscribe to your channel throughout the course of the next 6 months.
No one get any
Slowly.
ideas.
We're just gonna have the Scandits start working on accounts. You know, they'll figure it out. We put them on the account creation, and you know.
Yeah.
Someone needs to house sit while he's gone.
Yeah, gone at the beach. Yeah. Does anyone have any final last wrap-up thoughts for LC2? Any final thoughts on how exciting it's going to be? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. This has me very excited for it. I wish it was closer to the time that we're doing this, but it's going to be great to see y'all in, what is it now? September, October, November, December. That's 4. So what, 7 months? 7-ish months away? Yeah.
About half a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's gonna be
guess
great.
my only final plug is that just to bring it back home is that Twin Sons Foundation is $250 away from meeting its next milestone. So, you know, you can donate on their website and make some kids very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will be linked in the description as soon as we're off the air for anyone watching this in the archive.
Or just go to twin-sons.net.
That's pretty simple too.
/donate if you want to get directly to the donation page.
Anyone else before we what's it Marcel says, get our chubies out of here?
That's right.
As he would say. Yeah.
You know, I can't take credit for that. That's Joe wrote that, not me. So
Well, true. But it became tradition for ending a stream, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right on. This was fun. This was cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Great talk,
Thank you all
everybody.
for joining, whether in the comments or here. Our friends Max and Eddie. Am I forgetting anyone else who was on earlier? I think that was it. Yeah. Max and Eddie, thanks for them coming on. Thank you for you guys for sitting here chatting. I can't wait to meet each of you guys, whether it be for the second time or for the first time. It's going to be really fun. We can shoot content together for our various YouTube channels, all kinds of stuff. Fun stuff in person, fun conversations. It's going to be a great time of memories. I'm so excited for it. Anything else that we have, or should we then officially get our chubies out of here and have an owl salute?
I have more thoughts, but I'll save them for a future stream. I'm sure we'll do this again before March. So
yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
With more announcements, perhaps. We'll see you
Choppa
guys
chowa.
later.